proceeds of a better deed. We sacrifice all ideas for a moment in life. What can we do to make it right? Hesitation coming around again. Termination of all that we could have been. In a world where no one bothers, it is hard to deliver the truth and ignore the dreams of others. Nothing to lose.
evening, everybody. Welcome to Thermaltake Sprint Series with OOR. We are at Barcelona, Series 24, Round 4. And with me in the booth, I have two-time race winner, Aidan Squires. Hello, Aidan.
G'day, everyone. Damiano, and to all the people at home watching this stream. We've got a lovely night of racing planned ahead of us. We've got some reverse grid action, so go grab the popcorn. I guarantee you there's going to be no lack of action going on in these two races tonight.
It's going to be spectacular, and I reckon it's going to be just like the intro. All these cars are going to be spinning out. Look at the track temperature. Oh my god, 33 degrees. That's you can cook an egg on that for your chicken.
You definitely can. Those tyres are going to be feeling it through turn 3, particularly that long right-hander that all the Ford drivers like myself absolutely despise because it cooks your tyres for the rest of the lap. But if you're in a McLaren like Mr. Rondinella here, I was watching him do some laps earlier, and I've been kind of driving with him on the practice server. That McLaren just loves it. The high-speed downforce on that car is insane. But leading a bit of a train out of the final corner onto their first flying laps for the grid here. We've got a few people in pits so far, but yeah, they're all heading down now. Going out
first time lap starting now. Sorry.
Yeah, first time laps starting right now.
Yeah, I was curious to see if this was the first time lap or not, because I'm not really seeing anyone back up in turns. I've clicked off my map. Oh my god, I'm so unprepared. At the last couple of turns, I didn't see anyone backing up. So, cars go around a Porsche, letting him through. Just a friendly reminder for everyone, for qualifying, there's no overtaking if you're a faster car. The other car can let you through if they decide to, or if they are on blue on the mini-map, which means they have an invalid lap. First laps of Kunos on this that we have is your first flying lap is a blue lap, which doesn't count because it's a real lap.
Yeah. Looking at Alex Walsh here, the Ferrari driver, I believe he's only done one race so far, but I have seen him in the practice server going pretty quick. So even though he is a silver driver, I expect him to be in the top 5 at least with the kind of quali pace he was putting down in the practice server. Obviously, we have the regular pro drivers that you'd expect to see up there, like Liam Hamilton, Ben Vintner, Jaden Rondinella, and Gareth Raupe. But yeah, maybe a little silver addition to the top of the grid here in Alex Walsh, so keep an eye on him.
Oh, absolutely. And we also have in our Pro-Am class, I see John Rad in Stockton and Mike Crick driving around, currently hanging in without a time in P567. Let's see if they can hold those positions. I think J Rad is looking for a bit of redemption from Imola. He had a pretty awful last lap as the first times are coming through. Aidan Walsh temporarily on pole.
Yeah, Rondinella, though, putting in a pretty solid first lap considering the temperatures. Yeah, I don't think that's quite Rondinella's best effort, but this is obviously the first lap. We don't expect to see the best times come out just yet, as Daryl Lim puts in a 44 flat. That's a pretty good time in that McLaren, so maybe Daryl Lim as well. I do forget it is quite a big split in here, so maybe there are a few names I missed before, but Liam Hamilton already into the 43s with a 43.7. That's a very strong first lap. They're going to have about 3 or 4 more laps after this, so expect those times to keep coming down. But my pole prediction, well, that's very wide out of Elf from Liam Hamilton. He's going to pay for that on his Delta, which we can see just a little bit. But my pole time prediction is going to be a 43.3 from Liam Hamilton. Is my bet. What about you, Damiano?
0.7 made a mistake, so we got 0.4. Just give me a moment. I need about another 40 seconds. I'll let you know what my prediction is. No, I think it's going to be probably the same actually. 44.4, 44.2, around there. I think that's a good number that you found.
Yeah, look, there's always the factor of pressure when putting on a lap in this sort of environment. So you can kind of add a 10th or 2 just from that pressure, especially considering we are in a little bit more heat than what we saw in the practice servers. So yeah, Rondinella though putting in a fairly solid lap here. His Delta's going to drop down to half a second, but that's still a big improvement, and he will have the tow from Alex Walsh up ahead, so he drops in right behind Liam Hamilton, only 0.01 of a second behind. So these two, I kind of predicted it earlier, but I reckon these two are going to have a great battle tonight.
I'm looking forward to race 2 when they've got to go through the traffic if they manage to stay in front in the first race. As to see Hamilton come through, backed out of it by the looks of it with 9 seconds off the delta, lining up for a good hot run onto the straight where you get most of your speed and find a delta. Going through turns 1, 2, last lap he was 0.15 up. Let's see if there's any improvement now. And now we're looking at Cameron Thistlethwaite, car number 36 in the Lexus. He had a good race last time out.
Yeah, the Lexus, not really a car I think of being particularly fun to drive around this track. It's a bit of a monster. It likes to get very sideways, and a lot of the setups that are used for these sort of races are quite difficult to drive. So the fact he's wheeling that thing around is credit in itself. But we'll see what he can do. Obviously, the Lexus's main pony trick is, or straight line speed is exactly what I just said, just gets loose coming in to the braking zone of Worth, I believe. So yeah, the Lexus, a bit of a beast to try and tame.
Yeah, so keeping, what's the time? It didn't drop much time though, it was 0.4 up, and he's got that back under braking now. Oh, he's got more than that under braking. Wow, that's an extra 0.2 you got there. Look, so do you think, just quickly before the lap finishes, worthwhile doing 2 or 3 laps and changing tyres because they're hot?
No, in my opinion, just unless you're in traffic, that's the only time I would suggest that, just because it does take a good like 1 or 2 laps to really get the tyres up to temperature themselves, and you don't want to come out in a train and get stuck behind someone like Ben Vintner kind of had to pull out. And yeah, that's a pretty solid lap from Thistlethwaite there, getting into the 43s, but I have a feeling Liam Hamilton, he's invalidated on the final corner.
Oh,
that is a big mistake there.
And he's down at the time too. It was like 0.15 up.
So again, Thistlethwaite's time is pretty good, but if Rondinella and Hamilton can keep putting in these sort of strong times, I don't think it's quite going to be enough. But yeah, we saw Hamilton there, I think he was about 2.5 tenths up coming into that final corner and just pushing the limit too much. Very easy to do, especially in that final corner. That final chicane is a crime against motorsports. I absolutely hate it. It's terrible.
Oh my God, it's so hard to do. It took me many a lap to actually get it half right, let alone right.
No matter how you take it, it just feels terrible. But Rondinella here, up a 10th, so if you can just hold this 10th for this lap, he will have pole in the case.
Traffic in front.
Yeah, he does. It is Alex Walsh though, so the traffic isn't too slow. Walsh currently sitting in P7, 4 tenths off, but I still think we should see some fairly decent improvements from a lot of these drivers here. But Rondinella, a little bit of a slide. Yeah, exactly. Hamilton, I think though, he's had a few laps where he's been blocked or had to bail a little bit. So Rondinella gets a decent run out of the final corner. He's going to be 1.5 tenths up, which is enough to put him onto pole, but I really don't think it's going to be enough to keep him safe coming into the last few laps, especially if a few of these drivers can just nail their final quali laps.
Just looking to see where Liam Hamilton is. Oh, there we go. Got him coming through. If you got some money, Europe car corner, which is this one here. Next corner is 14, 15, and then New Holland is the last corner name on this one for this circuit. Oh, he's down. He's bailed again. Oh, he's got time for 2 laps.
Yeah, he's got time for 2 laps here. So he's going to cross the line at an okay time. It's not going to be lined up right towards the end, but it's going to be enough to give him some time, even if this one he has a little bit of a spin or something. So he should be fairly safe now. This is where you're going to nail the braking point just before the 100-meter board. Get the car in for this tricky right then left section of Elf. Now get the car back over to the left and prepare for this long, painful right-hander here. Some of the cars do like them more than others, but the front engine ones like this Aston Martin really seem to just scrub those fronts. Then brake, trail it in long into Repsol corner here. Get on the power as early as you can. Try not to get too much wheel spin. Bring it back over to the right-hand side. This tricky hairpin of seat, and now nail the throttle. Make sure you get a good drive out of here, which he has done for this mid-sector.
Right, going out to a very tricky chicane Worth. It's I find it really, a little slide there. Gets the power down. Hitting that sausage curve on the outside will really ruin your day. And also, then we got the blind right-hander off Campsa. So after Cairnsby, down the straight where things can happen, we'll find out because of the opportunity for the braking zone down here at the hairpin. 0.2 up, he needs to find, what, 0.16, I'd say, for a bit of delta time. So I think he can do it in the last corner as coming through, oh, it's written upside down, Bank Sadell into Europe car, and then down through the god-awful chicane that should never exist. I'm so glad
I think he's got a little bit more time in here that he's lost on the previous lap. So as long as he just gets his final section right here, there we go. There's 2/10. It's going to probably be somewhere around that as he rounds the final corner. So that will be enough to beat Rondinella as he goes onto his final flying lap now. So just 0.08 ahead of Rondinella at the moment. I'm not sure if we can get the camera on Rondinella now just to see what... Oh, he's a 10th up.
Oh, no.
So he's not going to... This is his final lap. He's not going to have time to cross the line again. So this is it for Rondinella. If he wants to try get his first win, which I know he's itching for, he has to nail the rest of this lap. Absolutely perfect. He's going to come around the fast right-hander of Kampsa. He has lost a little bit of delta there. He's dropping down slightly. He's going to have to nail this very tricky Sector 3 into this long braking zone of Lakaxia, excuse my pronunciation there. He's going to get off that 90-degree left-hander and now pitch the car into this right-hander, keep it narrow, and get the power down nicely, or a little bit of a slide. The delta is equal, I should say. He's tapping the grass, or the sand on the exit, and he's gained a little bit of time here. It's going to be really close on the exit, but I dare say, oh, he's lost it. He's pushed it a little bit too hard through there, and there goes the delta. Good effort from Jaden there, but just not quite enough to stand up to Liam Hamilton.
He's the first one to catch the flag.
Raupi as well just jumped into P3 behind, but we still have a few P1 laps. Yep,
he's got in front of Fitzweight, Kong and Ventana.
Lim is up a 10th as well, so if Lim can hold this 10th to the end, he's going to jump ahead of Raupi. That's so close. I don't know how he stayed within track limits there. Got the tail wagging through Kampsa. Now down into this 90-degree left-hander of Lakaxia again into this tricky Sector 3. He's gaining time, a 10th here. He's going to run it, keep it close to that apex, get on the power nice and smoothly, Daryl. This is a really good lap from Daryl as a silver driver. Now all he needs to do is just hold it together for this final few corners. Or a little bit of a slide coming through Europe car. He's going to hit this god-awful chicane, get on the power. Or I think he's lost it here, unfortunately. Again, so many drivers just losing it, losing that delta in the final sector.
And that's what good. That's quali.
Yep, quali 1's done. So we have 30 minutes of racing for the first race. It's going to be just a normal-ish race. Obviously, there's still potential for some shenanigans. Yeah, but then the second race is going to be a top 20 reverse grid, so stick around for that because, like I kind of alluded to before, there's definitely going to be some action that goes along with that as the fast drivers of, I assume it's going to be Hamilton, Rondinella, Raupi, those sort of people try to make their way from halfway down this fairly large field.
So this pole is on the right-hand side from what I'm seeing here, with Lim being on the left-hand side.
Yeah, so I did mention this before, but Mr. Rondinella is looking for his first ACC win.
Oh, man, you can't say that often enough, man.
Yeah,
You're
well,
putting a curse on him.
No pressure, but
is he listening? I hope so.
Maybe, but I know he has been practicing very hard for this race. He's got some very good pace to challenge Hamilton, so I think he can do it. I think as long as he plays his cards right and a few things go his way, I think he can really be a thorn in Hamilton's side. Now, saying that, following on this track is quite difficult. There's a lot of corners where you kind of need references that are blocked by other cars, and your tyres do also suffer when behind someone, but my luck goes out to Luke D here to see if he can pick up his first sprint win.
Well, here's the thing, right? So the Aston and the McLaren, not really noted for fast takeoffs, and then we got the Ford and another McLaren. Ford with takeoff?
Ford's not too good either, because it has to start in first gear, because the gearing is so long.
Gear.
So
I can start in 6, really.
The Ford's not too good. Really, none of the cars up to the Lexus are that good off the start. And also, Vinton is a bit further down than what I would expect from him as well. So we didn't really have much camera on on some of the other cars in that quali session just because it was so close between the top sort of guys. But yeah, there's a few people a little bit further back than I'd expect.
Yeah, he was about a tenth off Kong in qualifying, so he was 0.587 away from Hamilton. I don't have the final time though. But shout out for iBank P14 in the Porsche. I only say that because he's AM driver, and our lead Lim in the K819 McLaren is the lead silver class driver, and Billet in the here we go to Super Chip Auto. That's a good looking car. Where was I to? Billet. Car 251, the Nissan leading the Pro-Am class in position 9. Excellent qualifying there. This will be interesting to watch off the line. So
Yeah.
this mid-pack, 6, 7, 8, 9, that's going to be interesting because these guys I think are going to get a very good start. So we've got a Lexus, a Porsche, and the
GTR.
And a GTR in P9.
I will just mention,
Yes.
seeing as Rob Underwood has mentioned bad things never happen here, we have had our fair share of safety cars here as well, especially on
that is
lap
true.
1. The turn 1, 2, 3 complex here does promote quite a lot of shenanigans, especially in the midfield. So
Was
there is
it
definitely
there?
potential. Yeah, there was
Yeah.
the 12-meter incident too.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
half
Didn't even
grid
make it to the start-finish line, and
Yeah.
there was the cars across the circuit, and they actually blocked the track. The
Yep.
people in the back of the grid, they couldn't get through. Hilarious.
Season
Hilarious.
18, so 6 seasons ago now, and yeah, basically the whole half the grid got taken out on the start. So hopefully we don't see that again. But yeah, look, I think these people should keep it fairly sensible. Cough, cough. We'll
So,
see.
yeah,
We've got 2 silvers in the top 8 here. So Lim and Walsh, who maybe don't quite have as much experience at the pointy end of the grid. So my advice to them is just keep it safe. You don't want to cause any accidents early on.
absolutely. Could you? Do you just wind yourself back to P8 and P9, so at the front of the race too, you don't have to qualify?
True, yeah. I mean, if
Strategy already.
Blake Griffiths, in theory, would be starting on pole for the next race if she stayed in her position. So, you know, finishing 20th also has its benefits. But I don't know, man. Being hunted down by an entire grid of these drivers would be
I would not like
pretty
that.
scary. Yeah, I think that's also a curse in its own way.
Oh, right. I'm thinking about a pit lane start for race 2, to be honest. It's going to be mayhem. All right, cars seem to be doing a Noah's Ark thing, so I did the intro, so your turn to call the race.
Yeah, I'll take it away.
Thank you.
Cars and drivers, no more warming brakes or tyres. Should see them all form up. Now, this chicane will cause a bit of havoc in the start formation just because these sort of things always do. We've got a Porsche on the wrong side and some gaps, but hopefully they can close them up by the time we get down to this main straight starting line. So it's going to be Hamilton from Rondinella, Ralphie, Lim, Walsh, Thistlewaite, Kong, Vintner, Billet, and Bartolotti starting off this race. Race start has been initialized. We're getting ready to go green, and there we go, green, green, green. Hamilton seems to have gotten a not great start. Lim has got an awesome start to the outside there. They're going to go 3 wide into T1, possibly. Hamilton covering that inside line. Doesn't want to be vulnerable here as Lim goes way out wide to try to sweep in across the front of Rondinella, which he does. Oh, it's very close. Lim is side by side with Hamilton here. There is a little bit of bumping going further on. There's a car round. He has recovered it, but the top 3 here are going to go side by side now. Lim under attack from Rondinella going into turn 4. Hamilton is just going to try to scamper away here. This is his opportunity to get that gap that he needs. Rondinella is going to run that inside line much faster through Repsol corner, and now the order has kind of stabilized to back where it was before. Alex Walsh in the background going for a move on the Aston Martin of Ben Vintner. So yeah, the top 3 and the top sort of main order has stayed pretty much the same, but the cars will continue to filter through now as most of the 2x2 action has gone.
Yep, Cam Thistlethwaite had a good start. Currently P5 after qualifying P6, so that's a +1 spot there. So far, no yellows on the circuit. Coming down to the danger zone, this is one of the best places to get an outbraking manoeuvre into the hairpin. Everyone's single file at the moment. A couple of little looks here and there, especially by Walsh and Vintner. It was a BMW earlier that went around, so that could have been Jensen or Price Davies who had a little oopsie moment. Probably helped as well. Cars coming down to the last chicane. See if anyone can bounce off and keep it straight. Looking pretty good so far.
Was a blinding start by Lim. He went right to the outside there and tried something. Unfortunately, the outside is just not really something that works in this game too well. But props to him for having a good crack. I think he definitely put some pressure on Hamilton and Rondinella. But the top three now are kind of consolidated as Thistlethwaite pulls out to have a look at the Ford of Raupi with that Lexus top end speed that he's got. But yeah, look, I think Lim here is in a really good position to pick up possibly his first podium in OOR, I believe. So obviously he's been putting in a little bit of time to learn this track and get a grips to it. So yeah, I'm really impressed by Lim so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking at just on this lap and the opening lap, even with the cold tyres, he looks very confident going into turn one. A little bit slidey in turn two, but turn one, yeah, if there's going to be a move to be had, it's going to be Daryl Lim that's going to have a go at it for sure.
Definitely. And we've had Roy Ankin as well, who I believe was supposed to be the commentator for this race, just joined. I think he had to run home and couldn't quite make it for the start. Roy, are you here?
Hello, gents. How are you? Nice to be here. Apologies for being late.
Don't worry about it. You're here. You get the Wichita Mayhem unfold. Although it hasn't happened, I'm kind of disappointed. Single file. What's going on?
Just in time. Maybe it's coming.
There we go. There we go.
There's the yellow flag.
Strike straight away.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, I'll tick that one off. Sorry to that car.
I think that was Benjamin Piper. Yeah, it was in the Merc.
Oh.
So Merc things
Sorry,
striking
Ben.
again. I think that was at Campsa, so maybe just dropped it on the entry. Very Mercedes thing to do. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. But yeah, gaps still fairly consistent for about, I mean, it's basically half a second, really down the entire grid. So no one really running away with it, as Hamilton, though, does put in the fastest lap of a 1:44 dead. Temperatures are a little bit less for the race, so we should see some pretty fast times. And these drivers only need to put in, I think it's only like 50 or 45 litres of fuel for the 25 minutes.
Less than half distance.
So it should be a pretty rapid stint for these guys. They'll basically be driving quali laps the whole time. You know, so as long as they can just keep their foot down. And I have noticed Rondinella has pulled a little bit of a gap on Lim here. And he's still managing to stay on the back of Hamilton, which he will need to do, obviously, if he wants to go for the win. But yeah, look, this track is fairly hard to overtake, especially if you're in a car that doesn't have like a big advantage in certain bits over other cars. So I think Rondinella might struggle a bit just because the main sort of overtaking points are the straights. And although the McLaren's good out of the corners, especially the higher speed ones, I don't know if he's going to have quite the pull.
Oh, here we go.
We're going to see Ben Piper here on the outside. He's going to get.
Oh, that's Harry Murphy.
No, he's
Happy Rooney by King.
Yeah, I think that's Ryan King is just giving him a little bit of a turnaround there, and unfortunately that demoted him to the back of the grid. But if he can work back to P20, he'll be laughing.
Maybe set. SVF Ibram Bank, AM driver leading our pole position time. 21? Oh, I don't even know what I'm talking about. So, I have the number 20 in my head, which is mainly, that's the number for the reverse grid. So,
Raupi's right. Raupi is right on the back of Lim here. I just noticed Lim had a terrible run through that chicane. So Raupi's going to run side by side on the outside here. Going into turn one, that Ford's got great straight line speed. He's going to try it. It's got good brakes too, but the outside line, he's going to try sweep around the outside. That's going to give him a very compromised run on the exit here. And now it's on. There's 4 drivers all here who want this one position. Thistlethwaite's gone up the inside, and now potentially Walsh as well with that Ford just understeering wide. He's going to have that Ferrari possibly come at him soon, as they are still running side by side, Thistlethwaite and Raupi, but Raupi's going to be shown the inside here, the outside, sorry, which is definitely not the optimal line. Is gets a little bit of a wiggle, and now Lim really starting to act as a bottle in this, or sorry, a cork in this bottle here, slowing up these drivers as he falls further off the back of Rondinella, now out to about 3 seconds.
They could call this a mini prelude for race 2.
Whoa, is that
I'm watching Vintner have a look on the inside of Walsh. They made it.
A big, all three of them just got track cuts there, all going on the sand, but Walsh had a big slide on the way, and as the Porsche of Kong now is going to have a look at Vintner, and I think that move's going to be pretty well done, as Vintner, this is the problem when you get stuck in a big train like this, you just can't really move. Or Walsh again having a big slide. You kind of just get blocked behind the person behind you, and then the people behind you start coming in with, whoa, Kong, that's really hot. He's held on to that. That's an insane save. Just calm down, mate. I know you're in the Porsche and it likes to drive with the rear end, but geez, that was a bit too much, I think, as Hamilton puts in a 43.4. Hamilton putting in a ripper time there with 43.4. Only, in fact, that's faster than the quali time by a decent few tenths. So like I said, even with this higher fuel load, you know, the temperatures and the less pressure are just helping these drivers put down some fast laps. But yeah, I still think Lim is going to be a little bit in trouble here, as I do think Raupi and Walsh do have better overall pace potentially. So Lim's...
All he's got to do is have a good exit to the last corner, and he should be relatively safe. And what's the Ford like in the last chicane, like cutting through the curbs there? Is it a bit slowy down, or... that looks pretty...
yeah, I mean, I think all the cars kind of take it the same, which is they all kind of take it equally bad. Yeah, exactly. The Ford, yeah, it didn't really, it's not a fan of it, especially with the traction control. But I think Lim just may be making a few mistakes, and once you start accruing this train behind you that has slipstream, it is kind of hard to get them off your tail. So there is this group of 4 cars behind Lim here, which are looking pretty pacey.
Yeah, dropped off a bit. He was sorry, Roy, you were going to say something?
Oh, no, you go, mate. You go. I'll go after.
I was just going to say, the 992 Porsche P9 was quite close behind Kong, but Vintner made the move and he's just slipped back a little bit more. So we'll see if he can catch up with the Lim train.
Yeah, I think Lim's probably the battle behind Lim is really helping him to open up a little bit at the moment. But I was just wondering, if I'm Darren Lynn, maybe in some of the corners I might be strategically a little bit slower, just bring those cars back together a bit more, because you really want that group to fight behind him, so it just gives them a bit of breathing room. And I think Aiden, as you pointed out, Barcelona is a really hard track to overtake, not too many obvious overtaking corners. There's one coming up now and pretty much the end of the straight. So yeah, a bit of a nice battle going on here.
Yeah, look, you can kind of, like you were saying, bring in the battle behind you, but at the same time, I feel like that also invites some frustrated moves from people who have been stuck behind you for a bit. And just in terms of self-preservation, like if you're in a position here where you can pick up your first podium, I would just try to be a little bit more wary as Ryan King picks up the 15-second penalty for causing a collision on lap 2 at this very corner we're about to approach now.
That'll be the tap on Ben Piper's.
On Piper, yes.
Yeah, fair point. And you're right. If you were Darren Lim, just go for it. Try not to think too much about what's happening behind you. But this train is trying to keep him honest.
This way, it's very wide. This way, it's just gone.
And Ruby's, his eyes lit up. You just see the car twitch when he saw just this way go a little deep there. And I was going to say the best defense is an air gap, which is what we currently have. So maybe there's a chance for Lim to actually stretch the lead with a little bit less pressure now, which is now being transferred to Thistlewaite.
Yeah, well, Thistlewaite's Lexus, you just watch him; he'll just take off now down the straight.
Yeah, I don't want to watch, really.
The Ford won't even be able to keep up. That Lexus just
really,
like, it's pulling away from him in the toe.
Oh wow!
So yeah, the Mustang with the restrictor, it's not quite what it used to be, especially compared to the Lexus. But if you watch this Lexus through the corners and on the brakes, the Ford will close right up as the Lexus behaves very much like a boat. Whoa, you see that slide
like
there?
That.
Yep. See, that's he's having to drive it super aggressively just to get that turn.
Yeah. The tyre's not gonna
Which
like
he
that.
needs, and
Yeah.
the tire's not going to like it, and just your driving consistency also.
He's
does
really
not like
pushing
it
that
very
front
much.
end in that Lexus, you can really tell.
Yeah,
And I found
exactly.
in Barcelona, it's not a long race, but even after 20 minutes, your front left tyre is really hanging on for dear life. So it'd be interesting to see how the Lexus keeps its pace probably a few more minutes into the race, and whether the Ford can do something and try and make a pass.
Luckily, it is only 25 minutes, so I think even for that 25 minutes, if you're really pushing it, you'll only end up with some graining and not too much wear. But again, I don't think it's impossible that Cam could start having some tyre issues just because of how he's driving, especially if it continues like this. But Rondinella as well, still hanging onto the back of Hamilton, just outside of slipstream range. So Hamilton's certainly not getting away with this one scot-free. Rondinella's keeping him quite close for company as Hamilton very widens this final chicane. He does take a very aggressive line through that. I think it's
Rondinella's
Europe car.
last lap time was only 1/10 off his personal best. And what else was I going to say? I was looking at the times before. It was 0.8 a little while ago. And it's 0.6 now, 0.7. So it's pretty static.
Yeah, the only problem is he doesn't have a lot of time. There's only sort of 6 or 7 cough laps left in this race, so he will have to do something at some point. I know that sounds pretty obvious, but I don't think Hamilton's gonna give this one to him for free. So yeah, he will have to eventually make a move, or just hope for some incident, or he can try race 2 and try to get through the field faster than Hamilton. But that's obviously a little bit less certain with how the reverse grid races transpire anyway.
I just want to point out John Stockton in P11. Qualified P15, was running in P12 for a little bit and it's made a spot. So
He's P10 now, actually.
P10.
He's just overtaken
Kazinga.
Bartolotti.
Having a very
Nice
good
to see
race.
2 Pro-Ams in 9 and 10. It's excellent effort by both of us so far.
Certainly very fast drivers. If you have a close look at his livery, I'm sure somewhere there's an over 50 logo. And shout out to John again.
Dinosaurs.
Yep, that's us. Had his first win in that series, so congrats to that on Monday night.
87 of Mike Crick was yellow flagged there.
Ooh.
I think that's at Sabadell, or however you say it. So a little bit of a spin for old Cricky here, coming home from his Bathurst trip.
That's a bent car.
Yeah, that GTR's definitely seen better days.
You can buff that out, surely, for race 2. I reckon that car's going to look brand new race 2. They'll fix it up.
Yeah, those mechanics at Lexus will do a fantastic job, no doubt.
100%. I'm just checking out the qualifying. So our qualifying was Hamilton, Radinia, Rupi, Lim, Walsh, Thistlethwaite, Kong, Bintner, Billet, and Bartoletti. They're our top 10. So
Yeah, so Lim made up the position, and so did
that's a great start.
Thistlethwaite.
Still reminiscing that.
Raupi has been the loser out of all this. Now, I did see Raupi in the practice server, and he did say he was struggling in the Ford, which I can empathise with myself as a Ford driver. It's not particularly the easiest car here, so we're going to see what happened to Cricky here. He's got, I think that's Zach Jensen on his outside. Oh, there's a bit of contact, so that's part 1. And they're going to go side by side into Repsol, I believe this is, and oh yeah, there's just contact on the turn in, and
Bang! Ouch!
Yeah.
Ouch!
he's going to get collected by a few of the cars coming through, and unfortunately all you can do there is just hold your brakes and hope that you're not going to get hit. Yeah, pretty close on some of those.
Very reminiscent of a certain other event, wasn't it, Aiden?
Oh, yeah. You don't say.
No, not at all.
We'll leave that to the stewards to decide, but it did look like Quickie got a little bit squeezed there and just didn't have anywhere to go. It's a bit unfortunate that he got collected by a couple of cars. Bit of a shame, but I'm sure he'll get to come back in race 2, depending on where he finishes.
Thistlethwaite's right on the back of Lim, so Lim must have had a decent mistake because the gap was about 1.4 seconds coming onto the last lap. So Thistlethwaite now right on the back of Lim. If Thistlethwaite can get a good run on the straight, he will have a pretty good shot at this McLaren with that Lexus power. And there's the penalty for Zach Jensen, the 15-second penalty. Let's watch this Lexus here and see how much it closes up. He didn't quite get the best run through the chicane, but you'll see once they start getting up gears, here it comes. The monster is coming, it's on the way.
And also watch Lim at turn 1.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll see. Well, Thistlewaite's might go for the loop here. He's just not alongside enough to really poke the nose up. He's going to go for the better exit, though, out of the second apex here. He's going to try get the run, but McLaren is so good on this fast right-hander. It just turns. I was watching it in the Ford. It's just got so much downforce that the Lexus really just can't do much against it. But Lim's going to drop it wide a bit here. I saw some tire marks on the ground from a lockup, so he's definitely struggling a little bit, and that's also going to allow Raupi and potentially Walsh to get onto the back of this battle.
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the strengths of the McLaren in that Sector 1, having driven one myself in practice and driving one tomorrow, it's very, very strong in those corners.
Good to know. Noted. I'll just write that down.
It's also very strong coming up here to this fast right-hander of Kamsa. It can just maintain so much speed that basically just protects itself coming into this hairpin, which would be a main overtaking point. But yeah, since it can hold such good speed on that right-hander, it's very hard to get close to it. But again, Thistlewaite just closing up. All it needs to do is be about 3/10 coming onto that back straight. If you can just get a decent final sector. I know it's very difficult in the Lexus. Shout out to Cam for actually keeping that car on the road for this long. But yeah, if you could just get a good run through this final very annoying chicane, he should be able to threaten. Well, he's taken a bit of the curb there as Mike Crick as well also gets a 15-second penalty. I'm not sure. I think that's potentially after what we saw. And unfortunately, Thistlewaite there just bounced over that final apex curb, so he's going to be a little bit further back again. He's going to have to line up the next lap again. So unfortunately for Thistlewaite, he does really only have one opportunity, which is at the end of this straight, providing that Lim doesn't make any serious mistakes, as he is going pretty wide there, although he will
Just
recover.
extending the circuit.
Yeah, Thistlewaite's going to pull a little bit of gap on him here, but it's not going to be enough to really overtake. So again, let's go on board with Cam here. Let's see how much wheel work he's going to be doing. He's going to put the car in. Yeah, especially on the exits here. There we go. That's what we're expecting to see. So we're expecting to see quite a little bit of soaring at the wheel. And yep, there we go again. Just in first gear, absolutely no traction. Just sliding it out of the corners.
Oh, this one's going to be wild.
Yeah, so this sector here is pretty wide. Yep, just he's always hanging onto it on the exit on the rear with this car.
Doing a good job. There's a gap up front from Hamilton and Rondella as stretched to 1 second, but in that sector closed up by 0.2, down to 1 second flat.
Yeah, so yeah, Rondinella just not far enough, or not close enough to really do anything at the moment. But never say never. There's always potential for a little bit of a mistake from Hamilton, which could let him through. As Cam again just riding that slide in this Lexus through the whole track basically. His wheelbase is definitely getting a workout. I hope he's got the cooling on it for whatever wheelbase he has. But again, we'll see the gap.
Whoa!
Or again, man,
like
that is not where you want to be. That is not where you want to be having to correct at a real high-speed corner like that. That I bet might have some sweaty hands after this race.
Yes, Ralphie's time is what 0.8 off the best. I think the tyres are done. They're past their prime. So it's a matter of who can manage the graded tyres, because all the drivers now seem to be about 0.8 off the pace.
I think Raupi just didn't really get into a groove like some of the other drivers. He just fell back and wasn't able to really get into a rhythm like some of the other cars. He is pulling back on Cam now a little bit, as Cam again sliding that Lexus, which is just, yeah, it must be a little bit frustrating for him, because he does seem to have decent pace, but he just hasn't really been able to stitch it together, as he is now getting close to this Lexus. But this is kind of where I'd expect the Ford to be strong anyway, Sector 1 and then this sort of bit of Sector 2. But we'll see if he can actually put a move on. My gut is telling me no, especially now that there's a straight. The Lexus is just going to pull a little bit longer, and Raupi just touching the sand there on the exit of Kamsa.
Yeah, and Cam, I just noticed Cam struggled a little bit. I think it's the Renault corner on this lap, which allowed Raupi to close up a little bit. But Raupi also perhaps struggling a bit with the Ford. You can just see him really pushing the limits of grip on those tyres, sliding the car everywhere. So this will be an interesting battle to watch as they go into the chicane.
It's a bad curb from Cam. He's knocked that curb a little bit too hard there, and that's really allowed Ralphie to close up here. But again, we get on the straight, and that Lexus just gets up and takes off.
And they both didn't slide? Interesting. So we go time for a catch-up. So this way, closing in. Don't think they're going to have a look at clip the grass, looking for, and so did Ralphie going into turn one, clipping the grass, trying to maximising the circuit, getting a good run on the curbing.
This is where it's right on the back of Lim again. So Lim, possibly another potential mistake coming out of that final corner as Thistlethwaite was right on the back of him and now has full toe. So the opportunities, he's not quite out of time yet. There's only going to be 2 more laps, I believe, after this one. Or three laps.
Yeah.
So it's not over yet as Walsh is starting to join them. Well, the thing is the Ferrari basically doesn't have tyre wear. So long as Walsh can just sit on the back of this group and wait for all these cars that are bad on tyres to just kill them.
He needs a longer race.
He does, unfortunately. But that's just the nature of each car's strengths and weaknesses. If this was a race where you didn't have to pit, Walsh would certainly do better over the long term. Some of the front engine cars in front of him. But Lim here, just protecting himself just enough as John Rad gets a 15-second penalty for another collision. So a few penalties down the back. We haven't seen a lot of these, but
so we're gonna chuck up the order.
Yeah, it is.
I
was,
quite a lot. I was calculating it, and sorry, I was just calculating it. Oh yeah, there's 1, there's 2. Yeah, no, it's too hard now. Oh, 30 seconds for Rad now. Ouch.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna sting as we get this final corner. Nice camera shot here again. I want to see the delta on this away. It just seems like he can't quite get it out of that final corner like Lim can. So he's going to be, 4.8 tenths. Not quite close enough, I don't think. He's going to reel that in towards the end of the straight, but you really need to be alongside to go for a move into T1 here. Obviously, as that's what Cam this away. That's a massive slide on the way in. The ABS just having none of what he's trying to do. These older cars, like the Lexus, really don't like pushing them under brake. They're electronic, just can't handle that sort of thing. And that's a prime example of what happens when you go and try to push super hard.
Yeah, it's a challenge for Lim because, it's you just got to keep the head straight. You know, don't look, just keep looking forward, don't look behind. It's like if you're leaving in the last corner and you got like 0.4, you're probably going to be safe. So it's all about just getting the last few corners right.
I think Thistlewaite's worst enemy in this race is himself, honestly. Like, he seems to get onto the back of Lim and then... I guess. But at the same time, you're directly responsible for what the car does from your inputs. But, it just seems like he gets... John Rad, another 15-second penalty. Jeez, he's really racking them up now. So that's 45 seconds worth of penalties. Yeah, this is on King going into Repsol. Or that's a long way back. That's very naughty. Yeah. He's actually spun himself from that. Oh, no.
I didn't hold brakes.
Well, yeah, he's just taking Blake.
Oh, what's
just
to do there?
taking Blake with him, unfortunately, there. So that's another 15-second penalty.
I think that was that the double?
And this is the final lap as well. So Thistlethwaite, I think it's going to be close. He is a little bit closer to Lim here. Coming to the final lap, still about 6/10 back. I don't think it's quite going to be enough. Hamilton obviously still in the lead from Rondinello. We haven't seen much change there. He's just been doing his quali laps like he needed to, just basically storming away with his victory in that Aston Martin. Very calm, very collected. Usual sort of thing for Liam Hamilton. He's a very much chilled out guy and driver, so he's just going to keep putting those laps down as we see both the cars having some of that rear end tyre wear. As this away again, he's going to keep piling on the pressure to Lim. He's not that far behind right now, only 2 tenths coming into the final lap. I reckon the only that's wide from Lim. Thistlewaite's going to love this, and now hopefully if he can just get right on the back of Lim as close as he can possibly get going down this back straight, that's the last opportunity.
You'll get the arrow wash at camp, sir.
He can
fall back.
He could, but he might try to take the track cut or just something to give him an advantage, but I don't think he's been able to. Yeah, speed token. He hasn't been able to.
Deep under brakes. That was awesome. Out of shot, in shot. You know?
Yeah,
Not that far up the
exactly.
road. It's like 8 seconds up the road is P1, P2. So they've
Cam's gonna have to pull
made
out something
touch.
pretty magical here, because I think Lim's pretty much done it at this point. You know, he's just got to make a couple of corners and then just get on it. And I don't think Cam's really got that many opportunities. So here we got Lim coming through the chicane. He's going to absolutely stab that throttle and finish in P3, it seems like. So excellent job by him.
Yeah, props to Rondinella as well for not dropping too far off the back of Hamilton. Only 9/10ths, which compared to Lim, who's 8 seconds back, is obviously quite a lot less. As Brian Kong comes home in 7th, Vintner 8th, Billet 9th, and 10th is Bartolotti. But yeah, well done by Lim. Yeah, well done by Lim to secure his first podium in OR. I believe that was a very well-driven race. He had a lot of pressure put on him, especially for a silver driver. So, yeah, to kind of stand up to the pros and show them what's what is a good effort.
Put him up to pro for the next race. There we go.
That'll teach him. Also, but looking at those drivers cross the line, they thoroughly enjoyed the race. Bit of swerving, and some flashing of lights. Some excellent racing there at the front. 100%. Well done, guys. And then we so we had Billet leading Pro-Am and Stocko dropping a spot to P11 for second rounds, and Preciado in P3 for Pro-Am in position 14. Bank moved up a bit. I saw he was like P20 or something, so he moved up.
He was, yeah, that was a great race by him.
Yeah,
but
yeah, really,
4
really
places.
Time back. And then Simpson and Kranich, the other AM drivers. So where are the silvers? I left the silvers out. So Walsh in P6 with Harry Murphy. Oh, well done, Harry. And Ryan King, he's got a penalty. Ooh, is that going to slide him down? Yeah, and there'll be Blake on the podium for silver. Well done. Race 2, guys. Wow.
Yeah.
And I was watching the timing board there. There was a lot of close battles all the way throughout, but really reflective of what we were seeing. Very, very hard to pass. So yeah, well done to all the drivers. Gents, just read me in. What's the situation for the reverse grid here? Is it up to P20, P21?
Up to P20. So P21, according to Glenn, will be the person starting on pole position for 20.
Can't count, Aiden.
Okay, I swear he mentioned before that it was something else, but
I was mumbling the wrong thing before. Sorry. Yeah. So P21 onwards, we'll do quali. So looking at the order here, we've got Kranich, Baldoon, Ash Vediger, Jane, Spenceley, Crick, Yao, and McKellar will be qualifying. The good news is for those drivers is they get quali points. So if you get to nail it on pole, that's an extra 5 points for you. So not all is lost. But look, we'll have to wait till the race starts. There's a few pens making it complicated.
yeah, exactly.
Actually, yeah, the place. I'd say the race director is still trying to shuffle the cards and see who's actually supposed to go out. Oh, okay. Some drivers abandoned a race, so we're waiting for that to tick over, and it has.
Yeah, we
Navigate's waiting
saw a majority of the penalties were kind of midfield onwards for that race. There wasn't actually too much argy-bargy up the front in that race. So yeah, the front guys kept it pretty clean, but we'll see if that stays the same now that they have to make their way through the slower traffic. Reverse grids are obviously stuff of legend. There's always things that go on. The drivers who are now doing quali 2 head out for their session. So that'll be, car 21 and back will be doing quali to see who starts, obviously, on...
It sort of got jiggled up. I'm picking Yao for pole. He was qualified P11 last race and had a yellow moment in mid-race, so not sure how that all kicked off, but unfortunately off the track in mid-race, so expecting a little fight from the back. See how Yao goes, because he'll be following the faster guys through, so maybe some free spots. Actually, I'm gonna watch Yao. Yao's going to be one to watch, I think, for race 2, as the faster drivers will be going through the pack and causing some mayhem. But now we have our qualifying, and Joe Spenceley in the Adidas, miles behind car. I think he changed his teammate. I didn't notice that. It's an Adidas-like livery. His blue one was really good. The orange one's not. I think I prefer the blue one.
I think he's just gone with the sunny Barcelona theme with the orange Porsche. Let's just talk through the lap. Talk us through the lap, Damiano.
We're coming down, what's that, turn 5, which is seat. You'll see it, into turn 6 and 7. The chicane here is a bit iffy, really hard entry, because you've got to get the power out early because it's got a little straight coming on. You can't ride a sausage on the right, but you also can't flick it around too much. Little break and a lift through turn 9, which is Campsa. Extremely important to get the run down to the hairpin here called La Caxa. P10, probably a very late change to first gear as you aim for a very late apex and really get on early for the power. This section here I'm really awful at. You've got to cut that curve there, which was turn 11 into turn 12, which is a late break and a long coast. I actually don't mind this section, the shitty, the awful chicane here. It's very technical, and I like that. Nothing feels better than actually clipping those curves right. Can go a little bit wider and straddle the sausage on the outside. Don't want to clip the curve on the inside. Don't run too wide on the exit, and start your lap.
Don't worry, I think
very nice.
I think we've all sworn going through that sector ourselves.
But
through that
only once.
Yeah.
You know, you're right. It is a very tricky sector. I was trying to get it right yesterday, and you really have to optimize your corner speed from the first right hand. I don't know the corner names here, but from the first right hand to really get your entry and your corner speed right. Otherwise, it just destroys the whole chicane for you.
Oh yeah, it's like it's almost counterintuitive. You take the first one slower to get a faster exit, rather than have a faster entry than a slower exit.
And you can't cut anything. Your car will just start bouncing.
Yeah. Oh, that actually lap 1. That's going to be, I reckon, that'd be the worst place in lap 1 because you're going to have people trying to make a dive. Oh, it's going to be so diabolical. As we're looking at Nate James in the Mountain Dew McLaren.
So he's just gone through seat, I believe, and coming down to where McLaren's actually really good here. He just banged it down to 3rd gear. Get on the gas, gets a little bit bogged down, but still carries really good corner speed. Now coming up to, I'm trying to get the name right, doesn't matter, the fast right-hander, the car is very good here. Campsa, thank you, Campsa. This is probably the worst corner for the McLaren because it's terrible on the brakes, so you really have to get it right, and if you don't, you can wash the front really easily and miss your braking marker. Should be able to cut this next corner. He could have cut it a little bit more perhaps. Coming down to 2nd gear, nice and tight. I've seen some people take a slightly wider line there, but very, very good, and this is essentially the sector we're talking about, so you've got to slow down more than what you think for this left-hand and not hit that big red curb. Looks nice and tidy, pretty much flat from here. 2nd, 3rd, work your way up the gears, going over the finish line. Can we? Oh, he's invalidated, has he?
No, it's his first lap.
That's his first lap out. First lap out. Okay, all right. Well, let's talk through it again. Turn 1, not too bad for the McLaren. You got to brake a little bit earlier than the other cars, but open it up. 2nd gear, flat from here pretty much. Use all of the curb, bring it out wide. This is a very, very strong corner for the McLaren. You just throw it in, double brakes, back on the gas, and it just sticks. He should be using all of the green runoff. Not too bad. Back down to 2nd gear.
Yep.
Really, really important traction design. How does he do? Not too bad. Yep, coming out 3rd gear, 4th gear. Should come down to 2nd now. Looks pretty good. Solid corner speed. Back on the gas. It looks nice and tidy. Run down. Back down to 3rd. Oh, that looks excellent. Cuts the curb a little bit.
Enjoying watching this, aren't you? He's done a very good lap.
I am. I'm also taking notes for tomorrow, actually, to be honest.
Wow, multitasking extreme. How's he going under the braking?
Yeah, does he get...
Oh, bit of double pumping on the brake pedal there.
Nice. Just looking at his telemetry, he's running ABS 3, which is interesting. I mean, you can get away with ABS 2 on the McLaren here, so interesting to see that he's running 3, but everyone runs a slightly different setup, I guess, so each to their own. Looking good here.
I was saying, he did take this very well last time.
He did. Yeah, it looks nice and tidy. pretty much flat on the gas. Let's have a look at this lap time as he comes over the line. Does he get a 44? Yeah, not quite. 45.4, which is a pretty decent effort.
For an AM driver, I think that's a pretty good time.
So yeah, there's only, I think, 7 cars that are going to qualify in this session, but tomorrow, I believe Split Red, which me and Roy are, all 3 of us are in,
Yes.
has, what, 45 cars? Something
What?
like that?
What?
Yeah,
Did this happen?
pretty sure. Yeah, so there's going to be a lot more people qualifying tomorrow,
Oh,
and the
my-
reverse grid is going to be quite mad.
Gents, low-key, I'm a bit stressing about tomorrow, to be honest. Split
I'm
red.
checking this out already, man. It's like, how many?
There's 48 people who have signed up for Split Red. The attendance obviously is going to be a little bit less than that, but yeah, 48 possible is
okay.
quite mad.
We only got 20 people checked in. Split Red people, check in, either in or out. Just check in. We need to know. There we go. And also like and subscribe to the video, and thank you for Thermaltake.
Yeah, Jake and Yao there setting the best laps. Yeah, so that's almost a 43 from Jake.
That's a
in this
blazing
super
time.
cheap.
That is a
Yeah,
blazing
super
time
cheap
of 44
Lexus.
flat. Yeah, yeah. When Yao's a whole 4/10 behind him, and if they run out of time, is Yao on another lap? Can he make it?
No, Jake won't be able to make it. This is everyone's final lap now.
Yep. Jake
mean,
is actually P4 in the championship at the moment, as we are looking at Winston. Yeah.
Yao at the moment, I mean, he's 4/10 down. If that delta is correct, so he is on it. So let's follow him and let's watch this lap.
Damiano's frothing at the mouth to see a Porsche.
Oh man, I nearly passed out. This is an excellent car.
Damian,
Slight little drift.
what do you reckon about the Porsche on this track? What's your verdict?
Oh, I haven't driven this round yet here. I'm doing that after the race. But it was pretty good. It was pretty good. So solid out of the corners. Bit iffy with the high-speed direction changes for me, but I think that's a me issue. And going through this corner here, you can get drift a little bit, which I saw Winston do just now. But absolutely,
He's slightly up.
It's
It's going to be
But
very
yeah,
close.
looking very, very tight. He runs a little bit wide. That might hurt him just a tad. No, it hasn't. He's actually gained a lot of time there.
No.
Oh, and he's lost it again on the... Yeah, so that did hurt him. He was 0.5 tenths up, and now he's lost 2 tenths, so he's not quite going to make it, but still a very, very decent lap.
not all lost.
Fine,
Oh, he's
sector.
unhappy.
I don't think he's very, I think he's a little bit annoyed at himself for that.
Yeah.
But I have the order for the next race, by the way, so I'll read it out. It is Paul Kranich will be on pole, followed by Ben Piper. So Ben Piper with the recovery up to a very good position to start on the front row. So I
This is
reckon
gonna be manic.
he'll be in for a pretty good chance if he can just keep his nose clean. Followed by Ryan King, Ben Simpson, Blake Griffiths, Bank. So Bank is going to be pretty high up as an AM driver as well, and we know he's pretty feisty, so he'll definitely give it a crack. Appreciato, then Murphy, Stockton, Bartolotti, Billett, Vintner, Kong, Walsh, Raupi, Thistlethwaite, and then the top 3 of Lim, Rondinella, Hamilton. So that's going to be the order for this race. The race director will be sorting that out right now as we speak. And yeah, the cars should all get together and we'll have a pretty interesting second race, I hope.
Wow.
Can I just shout out to Blake Griffiths just for organising us commentators? I think he wanted to race tonight, and I also found out he does fencing as a sport, which is fantastic.
Yeah, Blake does put in a lot of effort for the comms, and for those also that went down to Bathurst for the 12-hour. There was a big OOR meetup that happened there, and she coordinated a lot of that too. So thanks to Blake for her hard work. I'm not sure where. Oh yeah, she's P15 on the grid. So was she qualifying? I can't even remember.
No, she wouldn't have qualified. Although, first time Porsche driver at this circuit, she's going to be in for fun.
Let's have a look at her car. I don't think I've ever seen Blake's car. Can we see it? What's the livery like? We'll talk about Blake for a little bit. Pump Blake up.
She's starting fifth position.
15th.
So that'd be
Yes.
halfway down the grid.
No, but with the reverse grid, it'll
Oh,
be
with the
fifth.
reverse.
The
Yeah,
reverse
yeah,
grid.
of course, of course.
But on this line, that'd be like halfway down the grid, right? tricky. We're giving Glenn pressure. He doesn't need this pressure. So
Sorry,
what's
Glenn.
what's the weather done? So the weather's 31 degrees Celsius. The car's going to be pretty slippery. Ambience 24. Still sunny. No wind. We've got 30 seconds. And there we go. What's a riding? Oh, God.
I
it's a lot
don't
of
know.
riding.
Is that's German, I believe. Something
Yeah.
in German for the Porsche.
Yeah, it looks very German.
I thought it
Yeah.
was like, when you get those text files and it'll just not make any sense.
I think the livery, might also have slightly broken itself on this
I don't know,
car,
the
or if it's
compact
meant
disc
to be
is
like
working. Hey, look, there's a cat behind the right wheel.
that. Is that that's your sign, isn't it?
That's
That's
mine.
the Damiano
Thanks,
sign.
Blake. Appreciate it. Yeah, I was helping her with some suggestions in earlier races to help her get started in the Porsche.
Also,
Seems to be
my
working.
request is to see the super cheap auto Lexus again, because that is a beautiful looking car. As a
Talk in the night.
supercars fan myself.
So what's happening now, everyone, is because of the race finish and the qualifying that we had, everyone's all out of order. So the race director is calling the cars through, and they'll go down to the end of the straight and line up in the order that they were called out. Then we'll have a normal formation lap, and the race will start. It'll be a delayed start because the pole sitter is halfway down the grid at the back. So it's going to be a very short run into turn one. And again,
Which means less space for people to sort their issues out before they get to turn one.
Yes. Oh, looks like Joe Spenceley in car number 16, starting from the pits.
He's
Here
too
we
scared,
are.
he knows what's coming.
Oh,
Ooh.
actually,
Yeah.
sorry. Glenn was commenting that the line of cars is very straight. And it is very straight. We've seen cars. Someone's going to drive through, just forget, and just keep driving.
I was just going to say it might be looped if I was going to put my money on someone.
Oh, don't do it, Loopy. This is your chance. This is your chance to battle through 18 cars, plus a fast one behind you.
Why is Spenceley in the pits? Did he not hit drive, or was it a...
Maybe
Possibly
just
a
want to
choice.
start. Yeah, from the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Although,
Oi, who's this?
there we go.
What is
Oh,
going on here?
oh, they've done it wrong. Oh dear. Okay, maybe 2 formation laps. Yeah, I have had it when I was on the grid. I was twiddling with the brake balance on the grid once, and as the countdown came down to start the race, the 30-second countdown, I turned the brake balance. When it went to 0, I teleported the pits, even though my engine was started.
At least you're not like me, where I put on
What would you-
slicks in the wet at Donington after qualifying like 4th.
Oh, that was the full wet Donington, wasn't it?
Yeah, a couple seasons ago. I was in the menu and I just completely forgot that wet races require wet tyres. So,
We could have dried out, you never know.
Yeah.
It depends. Which race were you? Race 1 or race 2? 'Cause race 2 had torrential rain in it. Yeah, the really big
yes,
heavy
we
rain.
were race. Yeah, we were race 2.
Yeah, I enjoyed that
We
race.
have Donington in the wet this season as well.
Yes, we do.
I'm
Yeah,
not
that
looking
should
forward
be-
to that in the Ford again.
That was my second win. I enjoyed that. Had a good start. Well, it looks like only one person starting from the pits. Right, Bastion of Fire. Would you like to call the start? It's going to be very difficult because it's going to be epic.
All right, I'll try and do a. I don't think I can top the both of you, but I'll certainly give it a shot. Damiano, I was going to ask, did the Porsche drivers form a union and lobby the OI admin for all the tracks this season or something? It just seems
actually
all
not
the
a fan.
tracks suit the Porsche a little bit.
Oh, not for me. No, I'm awful at Imola. I'm not looking forward to this. There's a couple other races I'm not looking forward to. So other drivers maybe, but not myself.
Fair enough. What's going on here? Are we doing another lap?
No.
No. This is
No,
they're
okay,
forming
there
up
we
now.
go. Okay, well, they are forming up now, so we are going into the double formation, coming around the chicane. getting ready for the race start. I think, as you pointed out, will be a slightly delayed race start as we have the pole sitter in P20. So they
what a
should
mess
be,
at the front. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's not looking great.
yeah, checked up a little bit. At least this is not LMU, so you can't really run into the car in front. So that should keep people out of trouble. As they wait a bit longer, race start initialized, waiting for the green light. And here we go, go. So we've got Kranich, Piper and King tearing down. Well, it's not them actually, because the...
No, it is. The timing
It
tells
is.
correct.
It is. Oh, and we have the BMW of King just tearing through there. That was an excellent move. I don't know how he did that. Perhaps Crunch and Piper got checked up a little bit. So seems like everyone's gotten through cleanly. 3-4 wide down the back there. So we still have King, I believe, in P1. The board has not reset itself. Followed very closely by, it's hard to tell, but it looks like a Mercedes in P2, followed by the... Very hard to tell from this camera
The
here.
Lexus.
Where the Lexus in P3. So we've got Piper now chasing down King. Piper was the car that was taken out in the last race, right? So he'd be looking for a little bit of payback here and trying to get that P1. So really on the back end of King here, trying to keep up with it. Both these cars seem to have taken out a bit of a gap, probably just over a second from Kranich, who is holding down P3, and Simpson to Ams, who is leading the Pro-Am of 396 Price Davies,
Sorry.
followed by...
This is going to
crazy.
be awful.
Also, I've
wow, look at
noticed
this.
Rondanella's not. Oh,
Free
that's
side
a
by
big
side,
move.
deep braking. Oh, it's a miss. Someone on the inside. Oh,
Where's Rondanella, by the way? He's all the way down in 22nd, so he's dropped massively off Hamilton. Hamilton's 10 spots ahead of him, so
Oh, wow.
clearly, if the timing tower is to be believed, that is a bit of a loss for Loopty. There he is, quite a few positions back,
Ooh.
as Raupi now goes for the move on McKellar. Yeah, this is still going to be very tight coming through this final sector, but Liam Hamilton has just blasted away on that start.
Yeah, he's picked up eight positions just in under a lap. This is so interesting and hard to call because we've got a lot of fast drivers trying to tear through the field here. Just at the back there, you can see 3 cars lining up. If we can just close in on that. Oh, and 2 cars side by side. Another car trying to make a move in there. This is a BMW of, is it Jensen trying to move on Raupi?
Oh, that's very
oh my
close.
God. I don't know how he...
McKellar. Oh, you get this. Oh, that's sweaty there. That's sweaty. I saw earlier on lap 1 that car 60 and 65 had a little yellow flag moment as we see Raupi get underneath Jensen and heading
And
down.
Loopty too. Loopty was getting underneath as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, turn 3 as well. So there's lots of action going on here. So Loopty now behind Raupi, but Liam Hamilton up. Well, there's a car off. There's 2 cars off.
3 off.
There's multiple
4
cars
off.
around here. Oh, there's almost a flip.
Oh,
Oh,
my
it's
God.
on the side.
That's Harry Murphy. Oh, oh no.
We need to see that again, Glenn.
Yeah, we need to
What happened?
see what happened there, because that was comical.
And that car just
no.
RTG'd straight away. I think he just called it and said, yeah,
I don't think you
I'm
can.
going
You
anywhere.
have to. There's no way to get your car back from that
That's
Someone
position.
auto roll
should have
over.
tapped him. Someone could have just given him a tap just to help him out a bit.
Oh, it was
Raupi.
Bank. Young Bank was on the
Yeah,
side.
it looked like Banks' car. Yeah, the Red Bull
Oh,
Porsche. So
so
it'd be
far.
interesting
Here we
to see
go.
that.
Oh,
That's this away,
BMW.
Raupi. That's
Yeah.
this away. Oh, Raupi's at a big
Raupi
slide
gets
on the
away.
exit. Rondanella's going to try have a
Oh,
go.
further up the
It's on
road too.
outside. Yeah, it's
Here
all
we go.
kicking off here. This is what we signed up for.
This is the-
Yeah, Liam Hamilton's just lucky to be escaped from this massive gaggle. They're going to run 2 wide through this final sector. This is crazy.
Oh, someone's
Oh,
going to tap.
and he's going to
Someone's-
got to cut the
yeah.
track there.
Oh, he's waiting.
He's
You got to
waiting.
go.
Oh, he's
And-
come right out though next to Loopty, who I bet is just cursing his luck. Who he's
Yeah,
made
that's
it
going to
through
check
somehow.
Loop T up, and Kong is just going to be on Loop T's tail, just
Oh.
trying to capitalize on this. But I'm not sure the Porsche is going to have the legs just to get past the McLaren. But then we've got Raupi trying to line up.
I
just
don't know.
wait, is he
Kong's right
going
on
to?
him. Yeah,
Oh,
Kong's gone for
I
him
reckon he's
now.
going to go for it. Yeah, he's definitely going to go for it. So Loop T will have to defend
Oh,
a
there's
bit of
contact.
contact here. Loop T doing well there. I'm not sure if he's going to call that. I mean, you can just call that a race incident and get on with it.
This
I
will
think
wait out
Cam-
wide. Yep, Thistlewaite's
Yeah,
just
go.
been
You go.
pushed
You call
wide
it,
and-
Aiden. You call it.
Yeah, Thistlewaite's just been pushed out wide there and just been absolutely mugged by Luke. He's just swept through in that McLaren with that downforce level. So these two as well, Kong's still putting the pressure on Thistlewaite here. Thistlewaite just drifting that Lexus, just can't seem to get the power down. I think Kong's going to switch to the...
he's
that's a very late move from Kong. There's contact as well between Kong and the BMW, I think. But I think Thistlewaite was a lot further forward and got caught up in that bank incident and has now been dropped back a good few positions because of that. Because I think he was up with Hamilton before, but now Hamilton's just taken off, and we see that Ford of Raupi right on the back of the Lexus of McKellar. I feel like there's surely going to be a move here coming from Raupi, as Rondinella also having a look, going to try capitalise. Very late on the brakes from Raupi, but he gets it pulled up. Rondinella's going to try follow him through as well, which he does. So Rondinella also getting a win out of that. It's very close between the Lexus and the McLaren coming through, as now Wesley Yao is next up on the chopping block.
That was a great move by Lupti there, given the brakes of the McLaren's made out of wooded fields sometimes. That was he did well there to pull that McLaren up into that corner. It seems to be settling down a little bit here, seeing some 5-second penalties come through, maybe some more. Yep, 10 seconds. Is this the bank incident that we're going to watch? Yeah, there we go.
Yep. So that's
Bank got put on the outside.
Yeah, that's Apreciado in the Ford, I believe. Bank's going to come into T5 or 6, I believe, on the inside, or Stockton's just given him a punt, and that's turned them all around. And then there's some ACC glitchy physics. Oh, Wesley Yaz just copped a whack on the door, just driving by as the Porsche glitches itself through
to see that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a bit of
not much young Ibrahim could have done there. I think he'd be pretty cut up by that. That was really, really unlucky. That Lexus ended up inside the Porsche somehow. Yeah, as you say, ACC physics stuff happening there.
Well, he'll be on the highlight reel for sure, so that's not all was lost, and the sponsor gets a good shout out.
Yeah,
Positives.
Hamilton up into P4 behind Ben Vintner, who has the fastest lap. He is about 4 seconds off, so it will take him a couple laps to get there, but Hamilton's just ripped through the field. It's kind of unfortunate we didn't really see him because he went through it so quick.
There we go, King and Piper. Because the leaders have got a bit of a gap, King and Piper, so it's going to be interesting. Like 18 minutes to go, that's still quite some time. It's like 12 laps. 12 laps?
They do, but yeah, we didn't see much of what happened with Hamilton because there was so much going on. So he must have just scythed his way through without incident. He was just basically gone, and the camera was on all the stuff happening behind. But yeah, it is now Vintner, Piper and King up in front. And how about King just going for the late braking move into turn 1, just throwing it in and making sure that he claims the corner first, out braking everyone else.
That's what you got to do. I think he probably had the ideal line because he was in the middle, right? So the other car's on the outside, it's got to go around the outside. The other car's on the inside, it's got to slow down because it can't cut across. And he just went... It's like a Moses moment, wasn't it? Just parted.
Yeah, it did seem like a Moses moment. It's like the cars on the inside and the outside parted, and King just shot straight through, and he's kept the lead. But we do have Vintner and Hamilton both, obviously very, very fast pro drivers, chasing these two down. So the gap between Piper and Vintner, 5 seconds, and then Hamilton another 3 seconds behind Vintner. I'm not exactly sure what their relative pace is, but I think they are quite close to one another.
Hamilton just overshooting the seat hairpin. Very easy to do, and that's just going to allow Walsh to...
I know what it is.
Yeah,
he's got a car in front of him. Can't see the corner.
Yeah, look, I think if Hamilton can keep this pace up, I think he'll have the win fairly easily, considering, yeah, he just basically ripped through the field, and that is normally the deciding factor in whether you win or not. So,
you reckon Hamilton will get one up on Vintner?
Yeah, look, from the pace I've seen off Hamilton, as long as he hasn't got damage or like really cooked his tyres, I still think he's got such good pace that he should be able to close up. And I think Vintner, I'm not sure if Vintner is going to try defend or not, because Vintner can also just try overtake Piper and King himself for a podium.
So,
yeah, fair call.
King and Piper getting practically equal fastest laps. For me, it depends on Hamilton whether if he gets through a good exit on the last turn, because they're both in the same Astons. I know setup could be a delta, but it's just that exit, and everywhere else it's going to be tough.
Well, I I think maybe they might catch Piper and King at a similar time, and there's going to be a train, and then Hamilton can try get through then.
Yeah, through the traffic. Ooh.
So I just saw Piper doing mid 44s. What sort of lap times Vintner doing? Perhaps low 44s?
Yeah, he
Do we
just
know
did a
that?
44.3, I believe, and then Hamilton did a 44.1. But if Hamilton's pace from last race is anything to go off, he should be dropping down into, you know, the mid 43s pretty soon.
Yeah, okay. It will be close. It will be very, very close. If you just try and look at the clock, and even if it's, you know, 0.8, 0.9 of a second, you're still talking about another 4 or 5 laps before he catches him. That's 10 minutes, about 5 minutes to go. So, yeah, it'll be close. Let's see.
Yeah, just looking through now. We've got Cranach and Simpson still holding out in P6 for the AM class as excellent driving. Crick's there having a good second race in P8. Bartoletti had a 5-second penalty which was taken away. So keep driving. Lim not too far behind, having a bit of a battle there. And Doco back
this
in
is
P10
close.
again. Held.
This is
Oh,
close.
that is very close. I was just looking at the timing tower. We got in the front here.
Ralphie was basically pushing Rondinella through for those last few corners. As they all start to kind of bottleneck up on each other, and now Thistlewaite's going to be under attack. But Thistlewaite does have the very superior straight line speed, so if anything, Thistlewaite should be the car. Oh, you've cursed Mike Crick as well. There's a 5-second, or it might be more actually, for causing a collision for old Mike Crick sitting in P8. But yeah. Rondinella here has got a nice double toe actually off the Porsche and the McLaren. He's going to look for the move on Wesley Yao. He's got that car down the inside. Yao's going to sweep in. Oh, it's very close. And now here comes Cam Thistlewaite. He's going to run the outside, but I doubt he'll be able to do anything as he'll have dirty air plus
Macca's very strong there. Yeah, Macca's very, very strong there. So, and he's getting the toe from the Porsche.
Yeah, I was going to say he's pulling on the Porsche.
Yeah, not a lot Cam can do there, but I was just thinking about Ralphie. Imagine what he's thinking right now. I was behind Cam for pretty much the whole race last time, and I'm behind Cam once again.
Yeah, exactly, just behind that Lexus. Yao's quite deep here. That's going to allow Rondinella to get up the inside on the exit.
And
they're going to run. Oh, I don't think he's through yet. Wesley might.
He's got the inside.
No, he's going to hold him off here. Now here comes the Lexus of Cam as well. He's going to try to get a good exit through Kamsa and get this move done down the back straight. Yeah, it's going to be pretty close coming into this the hairpin of Lucaxia.
He's going to get the Lexus beside the Porsche,
and he has a look there. He is very, very interested. Has a look. Yeah, he does that very nice and cleanly. So,
what's this professional driving? Oh, here we go.
Ralphie as well.
Ralphie's having a look.
Taking the opportunity. Oh, was there a little bit of contact there?
Nah.
And he tries it around the outside, and he makes it stick. That is excellent by Ralphie. So he just pretty much drove around the outside there of the Porsche. Very, very good positioning of the car, and he manages to stick behind Cam as they come onto the straight. That has actually helped Loopty out a little bit because he's just pulled away probably a few tenths from Cam as they come onto the straight. So I'd imagine Loopty should be able to hold on.
He's going to get on the back of this big train now, though.
He will.
So
he will for sure.
He's going to make one step forward, and then now he's going to get held up again by the train of, I think it's 5 or 6 cars up ahead of him, which I think he'll catch pretty quickly.
Yeah, and looking at that, we've got a Silver Pro-Am, Am Pro, and a Pro-Am all bunched together. So this is going to be a really interesting
someone's off
to watch.
So 819.
That's Lim. 819 is Lim.
Oh no!
So that's that's T2, the second apex of the first sort of complex there.
And I think the last lap, there was contact between Hamilton and Vintner because they're now 5 seconds further behind P2, and their gap between themselves is 1.2 seconds.
Well, that's
so those two are battling.
That's a lot of damage on that mecha.
Hamilton has just closed that gap to Vintner, and Vintner hasn't closed in on Piper himself. I don't think anything's happened. I think Hamilton's just.
Sounded very exciting.
Yeah. We'll have to see what happened to Lim because that is a bit of an odd spot, possibly contact on the exit of that corner there.
Loopty was behind Lim. Yeah, so I wonder if something happened there between the two of them or whether it was just self-inflicted.
Ryan Anderson as well has just told us in the chat there may not be any more penalties given in race as we have another 17 reports to get through and there is only 13 minutes left, likely all post-race pens from here. So reverse grid delivering as expected.
Right, and I think Cam Thistlewaite had a yellow moment.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, confirmation from Lynn. He just tried to step on the Maca and the aero system, obviously, went not having it this time around. But turn 2 is actually, there's a bit of a bump there on the entry and the exit. So if you hit
There
that
goes
wrong,
Barcelona and Thistleweight just dropped down the order, so we'll have to see what happened there. Cam Thistleweight.
Yeah,
it's a good pickup.
They were yellow in the last lap.
Yeah, and also Hamilton is right on the back of Vintner now too, so a lot going on.
Yeah, a bit of damage there on Cam's car, just in the front end there. It'll be good to see what happened to Cam.
Let's have a close look at that. How big is that? Nah, not a chicken.
Not
it's
quite a
not a
chicken.
Steak
No,
though. You
no.
can put a steak in there though.
Maybe a baby chicken.
Spatchcock.
That Nissan is nice though. That Nissan with that livery is really, really nice. Look at that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
do
that's
rate
Kyle
it.
Billett.
It's a what?
It's Kyle Billett in that Japanese style. Just
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
like the Rising Sun type. Yeah, looks nice. Looks clean.
It's very.
Yeah.
I'll pass on that. Good race.
Yeah, a bit of an unfortunate thing for Cam. Yeah, now he's got a wounded Lexus, and now he's going to have to try and make his way through a bit of a pack in front of him. So I don't think he'd be too happy with himself here. Now he's being chased down.
Sides.
very close. Yeah, there's a lot going on up here.
Oh, it's the Kranich holding the pack back. Kranich is very good at holding position on a track with a whole bunch of cars behind, so this would be good to watch.
Well, wow, I think
For that
Cam's
very
getting a little
reason.
bit- I think Cam's getting a little bit. His feathers have been a bit rustled, and he's just a little bit out of his groove. He's getting very close to running into the back of Bryce Davies.
I think these cars are overslowing.
This will be the
Is what's
replay. Here he is. Cam Thistleweight. Oh no. Don't. Oh no. Wow, that's a big collision actually. Oh, and he's just been turned by Raupi. That's unfortunate. I'd like to see what started that whole thing. I think it was Bartoletti possibly, and maybe Simpson. A few cars
Good
spinning
rejoin.
around. Yeah.
Even with
yeah.
the other car, that's a good region. Gave room for the other car to get past.
Also, I'd like to see where Mr. Liam Hamilton is, if he's got past Vintner.
Oh, Loopty's dropped down the list a couple spots.
Loopty has
Yep.
also dropped down the list as Hamilton
Hamilton's
now right on
caught
the
up.
back of. Yeah, he's right on. He needs to get
Pace.
past him right now though if he wants a chance at catching the cars up ahead.
He did a 43.7 earlier on his race pace. It's freaking insane. I think that's illegal. It's got to be something.
Check his telemetry. Check his telemetry. Now I think I think Vintner will be doing everything he can to try and keep Hamilton behind him. I mean, Hamilton, what's the gap between Vintner and Piper? Look, that hasn't really changed
Only 6
materially at all.
seconds,
Yeah,
Pretty static.
It
it's
hasn't pulled. I was expecting Vintner to close up a lot more on Piper, to be honest, but it just hasn't happened. So I think this might be the downfall of Hamilton, unfortunately.
I agree. Yeah, even if he gets past. Sorry, Damiano. You go, mate.
I was going to say about Benny, it's like he didn't, when he finished the race, he wasn't near the front of the list, so his pace isn't there tonight. So
Yeah, fair. And even if Hamilton gets past him with 7 minutes to go, he'd have to be
2 seconds a lap.
2 seconds a lap
faster.
quicker. Yeah, and that's
Okay.
just not.
100% doable.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sure.
if it was Fast and Furious and he had like 23 gears and nitrous, maybe, but
And a long cutscene.
I don't think
Just
that's
accelerating and changing up. How many gears has he got? Yeah, 38. He's a truck. Oh, Stocko. Oh, no.
That'll
Where
be
was
for
Stocko?
what flipped bank, I reckon.
Yeah,
That was Stockton, I believe.
that's around
the
there,
Ferrari.
around that zone.
Yeah,
But it didn't look that bad. A drive through though.
Is this Loopty? Oh, what's happened here? So this is Ben Simpson and Raupi going at it in front, and I bet Loopty's gonna try sneak down the inside of Simpson, or something's gonna happen in front of him.
Yep.
And oh no. So Simpson's just lost the car there, and he's just been put right in harm's way, and unfortunately for Loopty, there is literally nothing he could have done there.
Yeah.
So unlucky.
And that's a
that has
risk
been
too.
unlucky.
When you're like a faster, more consistent driver going through the pack, where the people your racing now will have little moments like that, but because you've got so much overspeed because you're out of position effectively, that's really hard to handle. Whereas normally you'd be, the other drivers around the driver that had the moment would be about similar pace and wouldn't have been an event. There was another yellow flag, 111.
Yeah, there's another yellow flag, but Hamilton just not able to pull on the other ass. Oh, it's McKellar.
Jay.
Hamilton.
Oh no!
Hamilton just, he was really close coming into that final sector, or final corner, but again, just really struggling to, it's really hard to follow people through there and get a good run. So unfortunately, he's going to get stuck behind here, and maybe Vintner might be able to hold on for this podium.
I hope so. And he's a good driver. Deserves a good race. Keep it clean. I think that's the biggest thing with these reverse grids. It's just like keep it clean in race 1, keep it clean in race 2.
A lot easier said than done, that, mate.
As we see 2 Porsches go through, as Kong makes a move on Yao for P11. It was Kong will go through once we get the new timing on the first sector interval. Little damage on the front, I think.
And there's so much happening, in this race, gents. Like the last race, a bit of a procession with the cars, but you look through the timing board and there's like battles pretty much everywhere throughout the leaderboard.
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
It's multiple cars as well.
Multiple cars and drivers of different pace and different skill sets, but everyone keeping it relatively clean. A few banged up cars, but
maybe you need to go.
Oh, there's 2 off now.
2 more. Oh, yeah.
What have we done? Oh, that's a hit.
Oh no.
Oh, I heard Glenn in the background. Oh, that's Spenceley. There's another one coming.
I jinxed that. I jinxed that.
I think we need to kick
was
Roy out of
fast.
the box. I think every time Roy's spoken, something tragic has occurred.
I'm going to use that next race. This race has been pretty good.
Pretty clean. And 3 cars have an incident on the same corner.
We had to wait for 4 minutes to go though, but yeah, sure.
I mean, you know, we were talking about it before. Split red tomorrow. I would expect at least 40 cars to rock up tomorrow, so that is going to definitely throw a fox in with the hens. So
right, you'll see me on the practice server after this one tonight, folks.
Me too. I'm going to be cutting a few laps. I'll see you on there, Damiana. Maybe we'll do some laps together.
Yeah. Take me out. Get me used to it. Just keep driving into me.
I'm pretty good at that. I've done that now a few times in the last few rounds, unfortunately. So happy to oblige.
Okay.
Yeah, Ryan.
Hamilton has not passed Vintner.
Yeah, I know, and Ryan King quite possibly going to take the lead. This must be a little bit sour for Benjamin Piper, who got unceremoniously taken out at this very corner in the previous race by the car that's now in front of him, going to take the win. So,
Ooh.
yeah.
Wow, you're stoking that one early.
It's got to hurt a little bit. We'll see.
That's going to be a great podium to watch.
Is this when I come in and say they've both had a very clean race so far?
I think so.
Well, they haven't really had anyone to race, so...
Exactly. Just themselves and the clock.
Oh,
I think
here's some
Hamilton's
fun.
tyres are just getting cooked. Hamilton's tyres, I think, are just... Yeah. Go on, Damiano.
Oh, when you're saying his tyres are good, I just really want to watch him go through the last corner. See how it's like straight in the corner, good. They both did it pretty much exactly the same. So they're both on point. Not too much drifting on the exit. Yeah. So 2 similar cars, probably 2 similar lineup setups, and can't do it. And looking further back, P10, 11, 12, we have our girl Blake Griffiths, P10 with a little pen, but in the Porsche Cup race. Should be loving that. Still leading, and also chasing down the Ferrari. Get past that Ferrari. All 3 of you, please. I appreciate
Kong's a bit
very
sideways there. Kong definitely lost the rear, trying to get on it, and he's going to suffer coming down the straight here. Look at that. He's lost almost half a second.
Be interesting watching the braking in a turn 1 between the Ferrari and the Porsche to see if Blake can
catch him up a little bit. Yeah, I drove Ferrari in the Enduros. It's not terrible on the brakes, but obviously the Porsche is quite a bit better than most cars.
It's a monster. I love it. It's like occasionally, depending on the circuit, I think the Monza turn 1, I can close up half a second under braking. As we see how under pressure from
when you get on the straight.
Yeah, it's a yin-yang thing, right? So effectively, it's a net game with 0.
Yeah, the car has its own balance of performance, you know, like even without adding the weight, so...
Or the driver. the Porsche does weird things, man, sometimes. Yeah. You got to be ready.
Are you a pro, pro, Damiano? You're a pro driver?
I am, allegedly.
Nice,
Slow,
nice.
I call myself slow pro.
Yeah, I'm just
Aiden, he's the faster driver for sure. Oh yeah,
Me?
coming up to the
What?
last lap. One more lap to go after this as the leaders, as we're watching P3 and P4 come through and the leaders are crossing the line now. We are now on the last lap. That's gone remarkably fast.
Yeah, Ben Piper up to 6/10 on the back of King, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Unfortunately, he kind of needed to be putting that pressure on 10 minutes
Send
ago
it.
rather
You know
than now. But
It's going to send that the hairpin.
yeah, that'll be one hell of a send from that distance. But yeah,
From a long way back, from the other suburb.
And he's
Vinton is
gone a
now
bit wide as
also-
well. Piper's gone a bit wide, so he's not gonna do it this lap. I think he's made a mistake into the corner.
Strangely, Vintner is now actually catching these guys up front when he's being harassed by Hamilton right behind him. So that's a bit weird. Maybe he's
It's
just getting...
strange. So Ralphie is about 15 seconds behind Walsh when it comes up. That I did not expect. That's a big gap.
Yeah, probably just
So we're
cooked
watching
his
the time
tyres.
table now. There you go. 15 seconds.
Yeah,
Wow,
and Hamilton are looking at Vintner, but you know Vintner is a pretty good driver himself. So Liam's got a bit of a mountain to climb in front of him if he wants that podium. So it'll be interesting to see if he can pull anything out of the bag.
Brian King, sweaty palms, coming to finish the race in a battle pack here between, oh my goodness, who we got? We got Simpson, Kong, Griffiths, Yao, Thistleway, Bartoletti, and not too far away, Price Davies, not too far away, Vettiger, and not too far away, Billet. Oh my God, I'm just looking down the list. That's like half the grid in one shot. Was it lap one? Leaders are coming through the second last corner now. Let's see if they're going to get a drive out as we're looking at Kong on Simpson, looking at Yanka. And here we go. Brian
He's
King.
done it. He has done it.
You can
Well
do
done,
it,
Ryan
babe. Flash
King.
those lights, give a little wiggle. That is the race done. Congratulations for your win. And a good race too by Ben Piper. Really consoled himself to get into the race too as Vintner holds out Hamilton. As Walsh comes through and we'll have a little break and see what happens here.
Yeah, so Kong followed here
got through.
very
Yeah,
closely.
he did. Yeah, Kong
did,
got the
yeah.
position going down the back straight. I did notice he was really on the back of Simpson's bumper going down onto the straight. Oh,
Yes,
wow.
that's it. It
certainly
sounds
something.
Griffiths. Put
Yeah.
the cam on, yeah.
I think, yeah, Cam. Oh,
The pit lane, what's going on there?
He's going into the pit lane for some reason. Oh, he's got a
That
drive
was-
through. I
Oh,
think
he don't
he
need to
cut the
serve it.
track. He
Oh.
well, you do need to serve it because it's going to be added to your thing as a time.
Yeah,
but I
it's-
guess
But can he do it
Yeah.
on last lap on checkered flag?
It's plus 30 seconds. So no. Anyhow,
that's very
Race.
unlucky. I do want to see what happened there because that was that was
Yeah,
a
protest.
bit chaotic. Yeah.
it was fun. Car side by side, bumping around. It was like lap one, turn two.
Reverse grids are great. I think we should do more of these, personally.
Oh, I'm a bit worried about tomorrow. Oh,
Ask me after
same.
tomorrow. Yeah, ask me after tomorrow.
So, well,
All right, very entertaining race there. Are we going to look at the results just to see the final positions? Race 2. Okay, let's talk through this. We've got King, excellent drive there. A bit of a Moses move. Parted the cars, took the lead into turn 1 and kept it from there. Followed very closely by Piper, Vintner, solid race. Hamilton, Walsh, Arapi, Rondinelli. Looped did quite well there to finish in P7 in the end. Crick came back strong, finished 8th. Great race by Cricky, Kong, and Simpson. That rounds it.
oh, sorry.
drive through for Bartoletti.
Yeah, it was a pen, not a track cut. A very late one.
Yeah, there will be lots of adjustments after this race. Just
What was
in
in
warning.
YouTube chat? It's like 17 before when they did that.
Apparently,
Oh,
there's
good.
10 or more to be given post race. So
Holy dolly.
Wow, and we'll see where that lands. So Pro-Am, we've got Crick, Price, Rafie, Davies, Vettiger, Billiard, McKellar, Apricado, Spenceley, Jensen, Stockton. There was one more, Rad, 10, Simpson, James, Cranich, top 3 with Bank. Bit of an unfortunate incident with Bank. And then, of course, we had the silver drivers with King taking out the win, Piper and Walsh.
Epic. Drive of the day, lads.
that's
I'm
tough.
going to go for King because I think he did really well holding out to the end. Yeah. that was a good try. And the first corner, that's and I don't think he's put his foot wrong after that. So good drive by King.
Yeah,
back that up. Good driving.
Yep, definitely. I mean, I'm still going to say, oh, this is tricky, but I think Hamilton did put on a very dominant race and did really well to come through the field from where he was, considering that he did start fairly far behind Vintner, I think at least a couple positions behind him, and he still managed to get up into P4 and kind of lead that group of people who started from the back. So yeah, mine will go to Hamilton for this one.
Okay. Well, thank you, Thermaltake, for trying to cool that race down. And we'll see you guys next week. And who's up next? We have iRacing. Is that right? Excellent. Stay tuned for iRacing. Wow.
That was
kisses, the way to go. I hope you feel it, but in a way you're the only one who needs it. I know that you think that I'm wrong, but in this life I'm the only one. Do you know what it means that we're the same shine? The desire you feel isn't the same as mine. I could let you go, but why should I? You're my mission, you're my mission tonight. You're nothing but mine, and the sooner you realize that for all the time, I'm the one you can't sacrifice. I'm the first and the last you ever get. So we got that I horse and beat it. You're nothing but mine, and the sooner you realize that for all the time, I'm the one you can't sacrifice. I'm the first and the last you'll ever get. You're nothing but mine, and the sooner you realize that for all the time, I'm the one you can't sacrifice. I'm the first and the last you'll ever get. So get up that high horse and beat it. Beat it. Beat it.
There's a place I have never been, on the cover of a magazine, alright. Gotta stay till the bitter end, on the upshot of foreign trends, alright. Is it time for me? There's no guarantee. I see everybody hazy, no one here to phase me. I'm crowding with myself, stunning visions of the fairies, running through the prairies, lifted by the sun.
Alright, and we are here towards the end of quali with Octane Online iRacing round 3. We are at Watkins Glen, the full boot layout, so we're all here, and I'm Zach Jensen, and tonight I am not joined by Sean, he's a busy little bee. I'm actually joined by Tim Gobb. How are we?
Hello, Zach. As you may know me, I am Gobby, and I was called in here last second. I rushed home from work. I swear it was all legal, and here I am in the booth, excited for this one.
Yeah, no, it is looking very good. Get a list who's qualied. Looks like we have. I'm not sure if that's set up yet, so I think we're going to get there in a little bit.
I think that's correct. It'll be Macadam in P1. I've never heard that name before, so new name for me. Followed by Merritt in P2 and Michael Clark
Like I said,
in
it's still-
P3.
I was gonna say, yeah, no, we're trying to, as everyone loads in, type deal.
Yeah, and I'd be
Does look
surprised
like
if Patrick Johnston was all the way down at the back.
Yeah, unless, I mean... Well, we're just getting it rolling. We'll see what we get.
So, anyways,
Oh.
Watkins Glen. What do you feel about this track?
Oh, I love this track. Much better than I like Barcelona, but that's beside the point. This is a great track. I do thoroughly enjoy it. Looks like, possibly, I think everyone's still loading in, we might have a Benjamin Hignett on pole position. Struick, no, McAdam, Hignett, Struick as your top three.
Yeah, so I'm guessing the timing board is not exactly accurate at the moment.
Yeah, with
So-
Tim Purcell. Yeah, I think it'll, once we get through like sector 1, it should update. But that does look like Benjamin, John McAdam. No, John isn't much really. John, Ben, Tim Purcell, Maury Babby, question mark. Possibly in the top 5. Josh Strick is in 4th. Get on our warm-up lap.
Yeah, it's a bit confusing. I'm trying to get my head around it too. Especially, I'm not familiar with all these liveries. This is my first iRacing commentating stint, and I'm not too familiar. I'm familiar with a couple. I think those Astons are both Thunderdome liveries, if I remember correctly. If it's Purcell and Hignett, they will be running Thunderdome livery, so I think, I'm familiar with those. I know we have Saxon in the Ford as they are aggressively weaving. Obviously, in iRacing, you go double file the entire lap, so it makes warming up tires a bit difficult if you're the weaver kind of tire warmer. Some people are more like the Kimi Raikkonens, you know, just drive straight, warm up the brakes, and use the oh my god!
Okay.
That is one hell of a view. I hope nobody is driving like that. Yeah, I can't imagine driving with that particular view. But yeah, now you're double filed the entire lap, so it makes it interesting in public lobbies. I will admit when the person next to you wants to warm up their tires and they want to use the entire track, forgetting that you're next to them. It can lead to some content, but here we are OR. Everyone's aware they're going to be double file, so they're just going to use as little tarmac as they can to get those tires warm, because in iRacing, no tire warmers. And if you've ever done a lap of iRacing or LMU, you'll know that these cold tires are deadly. You get zero grip. So first car you get to, you go into a spin, and then it's basically race over. But anyways, as they go around the heel, as they like to call it, they're gonna start coming down. Obviously, safety car still leading the field, so leader will have to hold the pace until the safety car goes in the pits. That's one thing I do like about iRacing and LMU. For a fact, you get an actual physical safety car to hold the pace of the field, so it makes it a bit easier for the leader to estimate what pace he has to hold. But any minute now we'll get the safety car pulling in, and the leader will have control of the pack as we go around the final corner. The safety car should be pulling in right about now, if I'm correct, or not, or yeah, he is pulling in now, and now the leader has pace and they can go whenever they want now. So when would they start going? Will they wait for the green? It is green now, and the leader has decided to pull away now, and it looks like it's the yellow Aston currently in the lead. Look like they have managed to jump McAdam in the Mercedes. So that will be Benjamin Hignett. So Benjamin Hignett takes the lead of the race in front of McAdam, as we do have a BMW going off track. That is Adam Patton, and they've decided that it's over for them and went back to the kit. I'm wondering if that's more of a technical failure.
Possibly. As they come into the bus stop, sweet. McAdam with a very big jump into that. But it is still Hignett from McAdam, from Stewart, from Purcell and Holmes in top 5 currently. Head into the boot.
It looks to be pretty hectic here on Watkins Glen. It looks to be late in the afternoon, looks like dust, so perhaps visibility might be a bit of an issue later on in this race. This is a 20-minute race, so it is going to be a reverse grid after this one. So this will keep things interesting as we see the Ford of Saxon Hayes currently under pressure from Patrick Johnston in the 777, and Patrick does make the move down the inside and does manage to get ahead of the big old Mustang. And it's not over for the Mustang. There is an Audi and a Mercedes battling right behind, wanting to get up as far as they can. That will be the Mercedes of Will Hammond. Now, knowing Will Hammond, as we do get an incident in the back, that was another Aston. I'm wondering who that was.
I believe that was Clark from the looks of that. As we come around, that's lap 1 done. With Hignett from McAdam, from Stewart, from Purcell, from Holmes, from Babby, Hobbs, Hislop, Keys, and Johnston, your top 10.
So it's looking like Hignett is starting to build a bit of a lead. The same cannot be said from McAdam, as he's now really under pressure from the Porsche of Struick. Struick being only 0.4 behind, as we do get another battle going on. This is the battle between Hobbsy and Babby, as they go side by side into the chicane. That requires a lot of trust, but it's looking like it is going to be the 59 of Mitch Hobbs keeping ahead. I think there's two Porsches here running the exact same livery, so it gets a bit confusing. I think it's Patrick, because I know Patrick runs that livery, but it's looking like Babby is also running it, as Babby
Might have been his slot behind. I think Babby's the pink and black one.
Yeah, it does get a bit confusing, doesn't it? The iRacing overlay at the bottom right doesn't update until the next lap. One of the pains of iRacing. But I think the left one will be more accurate. So you would be correct. That would be Hislop, and it would make more sense for Hislop to be running their livery, as they are quite close to Patrick and they are good friends. And I'm not sure if they are teammates. I think they are. So I think these two are teammates. So, oh, there's another incident in the back there. So these guys being very feisty here. The first 4 minutes of this race. It's only been 4 minutes already. So much has been going on, and that is the number 17 of Chris Taylor into the wall, and that Audi is not looking too healthy.
It does look like we had, I think it was Hammond, Taylor, and Johnston all get involved in that incident. So that's a 3 of the drivers from that little fight earlier on. And that Porsche is not looking too healthy.
Now, for those that don't know, damage in iRacing is very much on the brutal side. Tiniest hit on the wall can break your steering. So these guys are gonna want to be a bit more careful. Looks like Patrick has managed to get away, and it's looking like they got, as we have, Jaden Rondinella taking the grass there. Perhaps wanting to start a lawn mowing business, but it looks like they did get a free fast repair for this race. So these guys went in the pits, quickly repaired their cars, and decided to go right back out. But they are now fighting an uphill battle, as the pack still has managed to pull away from them. But as we now look at Will Hammond being in P26, so I think, yeah, Will Hammond is the Mercedes that also got involved in that particular incident, and behind them that will be Chris Taylor in the Audi. Surprising to see Chris drive the Audi. I've never seen him drive that car. It is very much a dying breed, that car.
Certainly is. I do believe it's actually one of the handful of GT3s that actually doesn't get a lot of use in iRacing anymore. But I do,
Yeah,
I do
you
believe
can't
the
race it in
Audi,
IMSA anymore.
yeah, I do believe the Audi and the Honda are actually much more forgiving on iRacing than they are on ACC as well. So that's why you see a few more of them. Yeah, trying to get. Here we go. As I say, we are trying to get a replay of what happens. Oh, boy.
You
Yeah,
get
so
a
we
nasty
had-
going very
that was
wide
obviously-
there as well.
Yeah. Like the incident, like Johnston had probably spun himself out, or maybe might have been helped, and Hammond's obviously collected him clear. At the moment, we still have Busk take to the grass through the bus stop. It's very bumpy there. That's a very bold choice to make. Because we have Pignet P1 has gapped to 1.4 from McAdam, so he is pulling away. Clark holds it. No, he's held it.
Smash that, you know, that's good to see. It's much harder to hold to keep it. Usually on iRacing, if the car goes around, it tends to want to keep going, but that's good effort on Michael Clark there to keep it together. But yeah, that bus stop, I feel like it is a bit more forgiving compared to the likes of ACC, and that's I think just because the suspension model on iRacing is just that little bit better. It doesn't pogo the same way ACC does. These guys do seem to be going very wide there. I'm wondering if that's still within track limits for iRacing. I know it can be lenient on some parts. I know you can use that entire curb there, so you can have your inside wheels as far on that curb as you can. As we're now back with the leader of the race, Benjamin Hignett, driving the proper race car, the Aston Martin. You know, I want to say gapping McAdam, but it's looking like McAdam is actually starting to gain a bit of ground there in the big old Merc, and these two are actually starting to gap the field behind them. Struick trying to keep along, but they are now 1 second behind and are probably going to start being under pressure from Joshua Holmes, or the iRacing admin, the one that makes it all happen for iRacing. He is also racing here.
I do believe that McAdam may have caught up, as I think he may have been given a slowdown out of that very wide turn one that he had to the start of the lap.
Yes, we do get a
Saxon spins.
no, that is inside. Look, that looks like another car spun right behind them.
I believe that was a
Unfortunately,
sympathy spin from Clark.
Yeah, it looked like it. So just to let Loopty save face. Don't worry, you're not the only one that spun. I'll spin with you, Loopty. I'll spin with you. Loopty coming straight out of ACC, just like you, except we do have Clark in the wall there. That is not
it
way.
was Gill.
Oh! They decided to reverse and they almost got collected by Chris Taylor there, but Taylor managing to avoid another potential incident. Yeah, it looked like Clark spun right behind Loopty, but Loopty coming straight out of ACC, straight into iRacing. Yes, he seems to be struggling there, and went straight into the wall, and that's a broken front left there. They are not having the best time.
Broken car.
That is indeed a very, very broken car. Looks like that front left is not on the axle anymore, and unfortunately that means it's pretty much race over for them unless they get it back into the pits. I don't think they have used their free repair yet, so they could get back out on track. Let's see how they feel. Yeah, that car is not turning, and not turning at all. We do appear to be having a little bit of trouble here with the broadcast, so I apologize for that. As back with Joshua Holmes currently on
I was going to say
P4.
it was just the camera wanted to have a little bit of chaos, like the second race was for the split yellow. So as we see, the Purcell sitting on the back of Holmes here, not letting him. Holmes isn't really catching Struick either. And as Hammond takes the for the grass as well. Lawnmower business in full effect today.
They really seem to be struggling with that bus stop, huh? I think that's the third or fourth car I've seen go off there, so it's not exactly being kind to these guys at the moment. As we do get another car in the wall there. That is a McLaren. I think that's a McLaren of Mick Merritt. Hitting the wall, and that looked like pretty substantial damage once again. As we do start to be looks like we are starting to have a battle here between Joshua Holmes and Tim Purcell. So let's see what Tim can do here, as we do get another Tim going very wide. They're almost protecting the wall in a Corvette. It's looking like Joshua's managed to stay ahead. The inside line.
Oh, he had a twitch.
Yeah, did have a bit of a twitch there, and it's looking like Tim is going to stay ahead, going to get ahead, but they are having that outside line. That outside line is usually pretty slippery, but they managed to keep it together. But is Jones going to respond? Not quite yet, and that is one position earned for Tim Purcell, as we do get the battle of the Porsches here in the background, as we're back with Will Hammond going very wide there. We do seem to be having a bit of trouble.
We apologize for the random switching of cars. The broadcast has decided it has a mind of its own. We did also see, it wasn't on here, but you can see it on the timesheets, that McAdam is now on the bumper of Ben Higgins.
He's only 0.2 behind. In fact, he has the fastest lap of the race, so he is going to try and get around that Aston. I expect a move to be done within the next couple of laps if McAdam can keep that pace. Unless Bignett can manage to pull a gap again, find these couple extra tenths that he needs to keep that Mercedes behind, but it's looking like McAdam might be able to get him here on the straight as they go around turn 1 into the S's. And it's important here that McAdam gets a good run out of the S's, and if he does, he might be able to get the slipstream to get ahead of Benjamin Hignett. So what are they gonna do as they go through the back straight now, as we're back in the battle of Porsches here, and it's looking like we do get another battle, and it's looking like McAdam looking down the inside, but Hignett around the outside manages to stay ahead as they now go around through the outer loop, and it's looking like some battle's gonna happen again. We do get another Aston here spinning into the wall. It's not exactly being the best day for Aston Martin here, as the cars on the back are managing to find a wall what seems like to be more often than any other cars at the moment. But as I say that, we do have another Aston leading this race, closely followed by the all trustworthy German machinery of the Mercedes. And see what they can do here at the heel. McAdam looking down the inside, decides better of it, does not quite get the overlap this time around, as we do go around. Half these corners have no names. That would be turn 9. As that Aston of Andrew is looking still drivable for him, so he's going to keep lapping, keep doing his thing as they go around the final corner now, and Hignett stays ahead for another lap. But let's see if he can stay ahead once again this lap. McAdam just seems to be just having these better runs out of the S's, and obviously the benefit of the slipstream is pretty good on iRacing. As we do look at the Corvette of Brad Cook running another Thunderdome livery. We've got a lot of these Thunderdome guys in iRacing. It's so they drive at this point, and it seems to be the new sim for them, so expect to see a lot of their cars here. As the Porsche of, who is that? Jacob. A lot of these names are very much new to me, so apologies guys, as Brad Cook does not quite get the run on them as he may have wanted, as they go once again through the bus stop chicane. These cars are just full commitment, very bouncy here on the entry. It does look like there's a bit of a raised curve there, as we're back with Leo Dreyer, and back with Will Hammond once again, as slowly trying to get our broadcast figured out. Apologies people, as Yeah, we're back with Will Hammond, currently in P22, and it's looking like that Audi behind him is falling off a little bit. That Audi of Chris Taylor. I think Will Hammond has decided to step on the gas a little bit more and trying to do what he can to catch up to the pack. But it is only a 20-minute race, and it's already been 15 minutes through actually. So yeah, time goes by quick in these short races.
Yeah, no, absolutely. As we see, yeah, no, as you said, Taylor seems to have dropped off as McAdam is now still 0.3. Gruick is just ahead of Purcell. Holmes has actually dropped off the back of Purcell as well, so he must be struggling a little bit. And we get to see the pure unbridled power of the Merc. Can he really be before the bus stop? Getting close.
Not as close as he was before, so we do get that Aston once again spitting. So I think they have honestly destroyed their tires, overheated their tires, and once you overheat, it's very hard to get the tires back in the window. You really gotta drive, what I want to say, painfully slow to get these temperatures to drop off again. But if you keep pushing, it's just going to keep spinning. As Michael Clark here goes back onto the back straight, as we do get another look at the Porsche of Patrick Johnston, another car that was involved in that incident and have completely dropped off the field here. I'm wondering what McAdam can do. There is only 3 minutes left of this race, with possibly plus 1 lap, depending when they cross the finish line.
I think, judging by the times, we may have 2 laps left after they cross this line. Coming around the second last corner now. That 0.4 gap is sort of still stayed the same most of that lap, so I reckon
it is
we'll have
definitely
2 more.
looking like, yep, I reckon 2 more laps as well, unless something dramatic happens and everyone spins out. But so far it is looking like 2 more laps of this race to go, and it's looking like Hignett has managed to pull off a little bit, his last lap being 0.3 faster than McAdam. I also saw McAdam trying to fight for position, but 0.3 quicker. It's good enough to just keep the car ahead, not give McAdam the run that he needs, especially that chicane. It's not exactly the best spot on track to make an overtake, but it's also the one corner where the car behind can really start getting a run on you, so it does get a bit awkward there, and it does require a bit of trust between the 2 drivers racing to not get into a massive incident. But I know these guys, they trust each other. They're not going to do anything silly, obviously, unless some kind of incident happens. You know, mistakes happen. You can still obviously bin the car without meaning to, but we're talking about some of the quickest drivers in OOR here. At least that I know from Hignett. I'm not very knowledgeable from a lot of these drivers, but from what I'm seeing, McAdam is a bit of a rocket, still holding the fastest lap with a 43 flat.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, as we get to, as they come around the final corner to begin what should be the final lap, with Hignett in first, McAdam second, and then a 1.2 second gap to Josh Struick, who's just staying ahead of Purcell in fourth. And then Holmes is 2 seconds behind, and he's just holding off Rory Babby. So we've got 3 fights here for 3 different positions. But it seems...
Yep. Let's go back. This McAdam just can't get the run that he needs on that Aston. I've been hearing a lot of stories that Aston is a very, very strong car, one of the most recent additions. In fact, it is the most recent GT3 technically to be added. I think the BMW also got the Evo package onto it, but the Evo package is not exactly a brand new car, but it is one of the cars that got updated in one of the last updates that come to iRacing. So we got obviously the BMW Evo package, we got that monster of an Aston to iRacing, and we've also got a part that is close to my heart that I've been wanting to drive ever since It's been announced. The good old Mustang GT4. If you know, you know. I'm a bit of a Mustang fanatic.
Like I say, I think we might be in a replay of sorts, possibly. We apologise for that. As broadcasting being broadcasting, as first, second, and third, they're coming around. Where's Hignett?
Indeed, you're
Hignett-
correct.
oh.
Where is Benjamin Hignett?
Hignett
Benjamin
seems to
Hignett.
have crashed. Software crash.
Oh, if that is what happened, that is very much a heartbreak.
I
He's
believe
been
it
leading
is.
this race this entire time, and to lose it on the last lap, he's not on track anymore. So it is looking like it's going to be McAdam, as we do see the timing board finally updating, and Hignett's name is not highlighted anymore, so he's completely dropped off, unfortunately for him, and that is very much a heartbreak. That was his race to win, in my opinion, but unfortunately, hardware issues means that McAdam will take the win in race 1, followed by Struick, and Tim Purcell will take the final step on the podium.
Done very well as we get Holmes in 4th, Babby in 5th, Hislop in 6th, Lucas Keys 7th, Dylan Smith in 8th, Mitch Hobbs in 9th, and Brad Cook rounds out your top 10. Now I believe we have a reverse grid. I am unsure as to how big that reverse grid is going to be. Higgett has returned.
It's looking like it might have been a connection issue. I am
Possibly.
not sure. It could have been, but from the time where he says he finished P24, I did not see that car crashed or anything. In fact, that car looks like in pretty good condition, so it may have been a connection issue for Benjamin Hignett, unfortunately. For the reverse grid, I think it's a full grid, if I remember correctly. It may or may not be a full reverse grid. We will have to see, but that could also mean that Hignett may be able to. In fact, if you look at the interval, it does say he's 11 laps down, if I'm reading that correctly. So I don't know what's going on, as we're still looking at that car. It's looking like another driver is still driving around the number in 25th position. I'm a bit confused because that's car number. That's the car in 25th position, but that is Hignett apparently driving.
Unless this is a replay and this is obviously something that's happened to him and he's stopped. No. It does appear, according to Bugatti Breno, that
there he is.
ACC opened. That is apparently what his issue has become.
I would tell Hignett to uninstall, but he still needs to be here for our broadcast, and he's obviously our other broadcaster at the moment. We've got good old Glenn broadcasting for us because Hignett is racing, but Hignett does broadcast the other races. In fact, he broadcasted the Bathurst 12-hour, so he does still need ACC on his computer at the moment. It's looking like they finally crossed the line. And it's looking like we are having a 3-minute break, aka a warm-up session. Just you know, relax a little bit. Perhaps if you haven't learned the track, this is the 3 minutes you want to spend to just, you know, get a bit more knowledge on the track before your reverse grid, especially some of these guys having to start at the front this time, as we do have Chris Taylor here. I can imagine they are particularly frustrated from that incident. Chris Taylor being one of the quicker drivers that I know, but they got into an incident very early on, putting them the back end of the field. But that also means they'll be starting at the front end of the field for the reverse grid. So it's not all upset, you know, if you think about it. they get to start at the front the next time round, and hopefully race 2 will end up being better than race 1.
Hopefully we will have, I guess, as much action as we did as in race 1, but yeah, as we've said, this is just a warm-up. I guess the guys just want to sort of get some stretching out, make sure that everything feels right if they do setup changes. Looks like we might be into the night, so it probably does look like a sunset start, as you said.
Watkins Glen at night. What could go wrong? In a reverse grid. iRacing does get quite dark at night. So this will be interesting. I have driven this particular game at night before, at Le Mans actually, and could not see anything. It's very much reliant on your headlights and all the brake markers you're used to. They're harder to spot. I can't imagine how it's like on Watkins on a track that is not designed to be raced at night. It does not have any track lighting. So we'll have to see. Another track that's a bit of a pain at night is Nordschleife, if you have driven that at night. Terrifyingly fun is the way I would put it on that particular track. Yeah, it's good fun. It's still one of my if not my favorite endurance racing track. For a sprint race, it's the track itself is still fun to lap, but racing wise, it's not designed for a sprint race, but for an endurance race, it's absolutely lovely, especially when you manage to get a lap together and you're in the zone. You just, well, I want to say perfect, but I'm never perfect. I always do a stupid mistake here or there. I just noticed that livery on that Porsche. Is that Homer Simpson?
That is indeed the Japanese Homer Simpson reference.
The Japanese
from that episode.
Japanese Homer Simpson. Oh my god.
I believe that is Christian Wells. If that is the case, that is a fantastic.
Absolutely terrifying to me. I would prefer not to look at it, as we do get the Porsche. I think that's a Pepe Porsche with the little eyes in the front. That's the Porsche of Patrick Johnston.
So that is most certainly a Pepe Porsche.
The number 777. You know, we all know Patrick likes his Pepes or his horses. He's a big horse fanatic. So if you've got any funny horse images, send him his way. You may see them on his future liveries. But as they go out for their second formation lap, on the front end of the field, and we do have what looks to be Jaden Rondinella at the front end of the field here. I'm not sure if P1 starts on the inside or outside here for Watkins Glen.
I think going off of the last race, P1 starts on the outside, so I believe it's Andrew McGill on pole with Jaden Rondinella filling out the front row, with Patrick Johnson and Benjamin Pignott behind.
I wonder, this is going to be some quality content here. Jaden Rondinella has not done a single lap of practice here at Watkins Glen. He was too busy practicing for Barcelona, convinced that he was going to get a win. Unfortunately, well, race 1 he had a decent result and finished P2 behind Liam Hamilton. It's not every day where you keep up with Liam Hamilton, but race 2, unfortunately, he did not have the best starts. I think he'd want to forget about that one, but he gets to start at the front of the grid once again, but on iRacing this time, driving a car I don't usually see him drive. You know, he's not the biggest Mustang fanatic, so I am a bit surprised to see him drive a Mustang. I think his teammate had a bit of a say on that. So they are driving the Mustangs. In fact, they're the only... No, there's another Mustang on track. I was gonna say they're the only Mustangs on track, but it's looking like Chad Pettibridge is also driving a Mustang. But it's not looking like the most popular car here on iRacing. It's looking like people are selling more for your Astons or even your Porsches. We do have quite a lot of Porsches on track here for this race.
Yeah, I mean, for a couple of things for that. Obviously, looking at Rondinella's thing, I believe that is a My Little Pony livery, but it's named My Little Mustang. And
Oh,
secondly, according to someone in our live chat, the Ford needs 7 more liters than the tank will allow for this race. So, either Loopty is going to need a massive amount of fuel saving, or is possibly going to have to do a splash and dash potentially.
so what you're telling me is the Ford cannot do a 25-minute race.
I believe
Its current tank.
it does seem very odd unless there is a percentage restriction that's given to it, but I wouldn't think there is.
It's been manipulated, man. They're doing my boy dirty here. Jaden Rondinella starting at the front of the grid. Let's see what he can do as they go around the third last corner. I want to say last corner, but it's not the last corner. Now they go around the second last corner. Safety car will pull in any moment now. I say any moment. It pulls in at the last second and does some weird turn. That safety car does seem to have a lot of downforce. That Porsche 911 as they now go around the final corner onto the main straight, and it's looking like now Andrew Gill has the pace and he's decided to go, not to. Oh, that's going to be a penalty for Loopty.
I'm not entirely sure.
He passed
Is it
P1
Loop?
before as Loopty does end up spinning.
He's penalized
hands
himself.
around. Yeah, he's giving himself the balance. Oh my god, they're dancing.
As we see,
That was absolute cinema. And there's another car around here as the reverse grid
say,
goes
that
up
was-
to an explosive start.
I was going to say, that was Lucas Keys and Tim Purcell with their little pirouette ballet that was going on in the background. I believe, I'm not entirely sure how this works, if it's the leader has say on when to go, or if they have to wait till the green. It looked like, who was it? It looked like Clark had gone to go and then slowed down, which caught him. Looks like he is in trouble.
But yeah, once the safety car pulls in, the leader has control of the pack. We do get another Red Aston there spinning around. They've not been having the best race, but usually the leader, once that safety car pulls in, that leader has pace, but cars behind
that is
cannot
good.
pass him. Yeah, the cars behind cannot pass him until he has crossed the start-finish line.
Yeah,
So-
so I was going to say, I believe it might be a penalty for potentially both front runners, or the front row drivers, as you said, with the start before the start finish line. But Clark may have gone and then slowed down.
Yeah, so that is a little bit naughty here. If you decide to go, usually you have to go. If you slow down to trick the cars behind to get around you, give them that a penalty, then it's not exactly going to be the best look on you, I want to say, as we do get back with Benjamin Hignett currently in P8, as we do get a Porsche. I'm not sure who's driving the Porsche. That is the Porsche of Jacob Trainer, currently ahead of these two, and Hignett really on the gas there, really wants to get around. He's currently in P8, and he wants to get as far ahead as he can. You know, he's been robbed of a race already, and now he wants to make up for it as they go onto the back straight now. It's looking like the Aston does get a tiny bit of overlap on the McLaren. McLaren defending the inside. They have to go side by side into the again, and the McLaren spins around, and it's looking like they actually end up into contact. If you look at the Aston of Benjamin Hignett, that front end is completely gone, unless that is a bit
Unless
of
there's a visual bug.
visual bug. That is
Very interesting.
Yes.
You say, I will say that the biggest beneficiaries of this lap 1 shenanigans has been Jacob Trainer up 12 positions in Q6, and Patrick Johnston has managed to avoid the two at the front, and he's now leading by a second to Chris Taylor.
I want to keep an eye on Benjamin Hignett. I'm wondering if it's just a visual bug on our end here. Still seems to be driving. It looked quite
He does.
a lot more dramatic than it actually was for him. I don't remember him hitting that McLaren. It looked like the McLaren just spun on his own, but we will have to see in the these upcoming laps, what kinds of lap time Hignett pulls, or if he pulls back into the pits. It's looking like he's still driving, so perhaps as he hit the wall there. Oh, that is not what you want to do. But Hignett continuing on, wondering if the damage is only visual for us, but he has only done a 146. The car is looking a bit understeery there, so it is possible that he's actually lost his front end.
I was going to say it may be possible because he is still.
Oh, it's a bit of contact, but he does manage to recover.
I was going to say it does appear maybe that he has got front end damage, but it may look worse from our end as he is still keeping things together for the most part.
That is also
Does
the
seem to hold
audio of Joshua Holmes as well, so he's still probably going to be in a call, and I can't imagine the vulgarity of words that would have said to him when he almost spun around there, but luckily for him, he's managed to recover from it. And it's looking like Joshua Holmes actually let off throttle a little bit before the chicane. Has to let his friend back through. No, this is an apology. I'll give you back to position. I wonder if he still has headlights as well, because obviously on our end, his headlights are gone, and it actually looks like he does not have any lights on him. So I hope this race doesn't get any darker, because he's going to be struggling for vision here, as we do get Lucas Keith now looking around the outside of Struick, not managing to make it stick as Struick does the head, as we do get a Mercedes spinning around. That looks like the Mercedes of Busk spinning around there, as Josh Struick is looking on the rear bumper of McAdam. McAdam, the winner of last race, is actually moving up the field pretty good. He's already back up to P12, so he's made up 16 positions so far, so he's on a bit of a giga run, isn't he, John McAdam?
Absolutely. Himself and Struick have actually gone through this field quite nicely. Joshua Holmes a little more so. Hislop as well, has done well. But yeah, no, Patrick Johnson's he's still pulling ahead of Chris Taylor at the front. He's now 1.5 seconds. We have had a very interesting 6 minutes of the race.
Yeah, that start was definitely something, to say the least.
As we see that Will Hammond is actually now ahead of Chris Taylor, so there must have been an overtake for the bus stop.
Yeah, if that was so, that is a lot of trust. Now they're going to be defending from the Audi. Goes a bit wide there, wondering if they're going to manage to hold it, and they do hold it, and managing to stay ahead of the Audi. I'm upset that Audi is actually retiring from GT3. You know, it's a dying breed. It's a fantastic sounding car. Now I know how everyone talks about it, how it sounds on track, but I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard that Audi when it's got its pit limiter on. It absolutely sounds like a demon. It's a scary, scary sounding car, but still quite upsetting to see them pulling out of GT racing. And you know, with them going into F1, I'm hoping that in the future they'll end up coming back.
As we see now that Patrick Johnson with the fastest lap of a 43.34. Still building that lead now to P2.
P2 not quite managing to get into the 43s. Patrick Johnson's actually almost a second quicker. He's absolutely flying out there. And he is building himself a very, very decent gap. He hasn't had the best race 1, but it's looking like race 2 is shaping up to be his, as it gets darker by the minute here at Watkins Glen. And looking back at Benjamin Hignett still managing to actually do 44 flats. So no, I think that damage is not quite as bad as it turns out to actually be. 4 flat is still flying. Still a very, very quick lap.
I do believe that would be only a visual thing, because I believe at that point where we saw Merritt go off, they were at the most side by side. It wasn't behind. But I would say it's purely visual, because that damage has not slowed him down one bit.
I find it actually quite funny the way that car looks right now without the front bumper. It's completely gone, and obviously assume if you use your headlight, you get the black and orange flag, surely.
I would assume so.
Because it's not exactly safe, especially in darker conditions, to drive without a headlight. So yeah, no, I think if he's got damage, it's very, very, very minor. If he's still pulling out 44s, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually pulls out a 43 as he goes around the final corner. Let's see what he pulls up, and yeah, he does manage to actually get a 43.8, so I'd like to even assume that he's actually got no damage at all on that car, and it's just a bit of a visual bug with the iRacing netcode or whatsoever.
Yeah, no, absolutely. As we see, yeah, quite a few people are getting into the 43s now, so we're now starting to, obviously tyres are up to 10, we're all going. But yeah, 2.4 seconds from Johnston to Hammond. Trainer still in his own little bubble, up 13 spots from where he started.
That is.
Adam is up 18, he's now in the top 10. Does look like we had a few people who ended up in the pits for the first few laps.
We've got a couple drivers here, a lap down, 2 laps down. Saxon Hayes, I wonder what's happened to him. He's not had the best of starts. He's completely fallen off. Still didn't make merit. Completely down on the pack, so they probably got into some kind of incident as well. So the Ford, not exactly having the best time around here. The only one that's still up there, really, it's Jaded Rondinella, and even him, he had a exciting turn 1, to say the least.
Indeed, as we saw that Chris Taylor has actually dropped down about 10 spots. He's had a bit of an issue coming out of the heel.
Yeah, these guys, they do seem to be struggling here. Out of all the tracks I'd expect people to struggle at, I wasn't expecting Watkins Glen to be one of them. Obviously, it's not an easy track to find pace out of, and these guys will be trying to find as much pace as they can, so they're going to be pushing. But at the same time, I wouldn't imagine it would be that deadly to these drivers. Perhaps track temp has a thing or two to do with it, with these obviously later in the day or early at night. Track temp is going to be quite substantially lower. Currently is on 21 degrees. It's not even that bad, so yeah, I'm not sure what it is.
They may have just had his own little moment, wheels in the grass, we don't know.
Yeah, I think anything could really happen.
But what that has done, it has now released the pressure off of Hammond, so the top 3, or the top 2 can sort of be a little more comfortable in their driving. But Breyer is not out of the woods yet. Trainer looks like he's right behind him. Fighting for P3 though.
On Leo Dreyer, he's posted a couple pictures of some fantastic biltong. Those who don't know what biltong is, it's South African cured meat, and it's absolutely fantastic. I'm not sure if people have ever had it.
Trainer spins.
Trainer does spin, so I cannot even have a conversation without a bit of content here. But Trainer, unfortunately, he was having a fantastic race, and that looks like to be some pretty substantial damage to the Porsche here, as they do lose a couple position. Hopefully for him, it will not be that bad a damage. If he's lucky, he's only losing a couple tenths a lap from that, but that looked like a pretty hefty hit onto the wall. In fact, they hit the front and the rear of the car there. And now they're going to be under pressure from the absolute rocket that is John McAdam, as we're now back on board, back spectating Benjamin Hignett. Still having the pace, still in the 43s, high 43s. So yeah, it probably still has a bit of damage. One driver that is really putting the pressure on him now is Joshua Holmes. Last lap was a 44.1. He must have been quite on the rear bumper of that Aston for quite some time now, and they've got 7 minutes. No, not 7 minutes. What am I saying? 12 minutes. The first race was 20 minutes, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
So second one is 25. So 12 minutes for Joshua Holmes to try and make a move on Benjamin Hignett, but I can't imagine Hignett is going to make it easy, as we're now with Joshua Hislop, currently sitting P7. They've also had a very fantastic start. They are up 16 positions as well. So quite a lot of drivers here benefiting and doing a bit better than the others. And Jonathan Hislop is definitely one of them, as they're now looking at the rear bumper of Christian Wells. Wondering what they can do here as they go around the final corner. See if Jonathan can get a bit of a run here. It does seem to get darker and darker by the minute. Not sure if we do have a clock. We do not have a clock, so I couldn't tell you what time it is here at Watkins Glen, but it is appearing that it's getting quite dark, and it's looking like Hislop is going to get a bit of a run. In fact, he's almost side by side before the exit of the S's here, but now he's going to be right on the rear bumper of that pink Porsche, and he's going to be looking down the inside as they go side by side down the back straight as they go into the braking zone, and he manages to get the position before the bus stop. So that is very fortunate here for Jonathan Hislop, but that was an absolutely full send move. I'm also wondering if perhaps Christian decided, you know what, you can have it. I do not want to go side by side with you in the bus stop, but that was quite a fantastic move here from Jonathan Hislop.
Absolutely. I think Wells probably made the smart decision that too wide into the bus stop rarely ever runs well. And went, oh, I'll let you have that one. As we see, yeah, Johnston with a 3-second gap, so he's slowly getting that up and up, that gap. It is going to get to a point where these guys like McAdam and Holmes and stuff, they may just run out of laps to try and catch Johnston out front.
Someone that is not running out of laps is Will Hammond. Their last lap was actually 4/10 quicker than Patrick Johnston. So, although he does have pretty much a 3-second lead, and as to say that the roles are reversed, and Johnston gets 7/10 on Hammond and actually managed to put that gap to 3 seconds. But it's not out of the woods for Johnston. Will Hammond could still catch up. All it takes is a little mistake from the 777, and it would be race on again. It's Chad Petrovich running. Oh my god, that's my livery. Well, not my livery, it's actually Joshua Holmes' livery. It's the same livery that I run, actually. So it is another Thunderdome livery here from Pettibridge. So once again, Thunderdome boys really enjoying the iRacing, and they're trying to hunt down that Mercedes of Will Hammond. Actually, no, they're a lap down. Never mind what I said. They're actually a lap down. Pettibridge being in P20, while Will Hammond's in P2. So they have unfortunately gone laps. So it's looking like they've gone into some kind of incident early on in the race as well, and have lost a lap to the leaders. I'm wondering where Leo Dreyer is. He's currently 5 seconds to the back of Will Hammond, 3.5 ahead of Benjamin Hignett, also running a pretty good race of their own. They're in the low 44s, their best lap being 43.8, and Hignett matching the lap time. So if this keeps going the way it is, Leodre could be holding on to P3 here.
He absolutely can be. As I said, we've had some chaos, but we've had some very solid driving from Cleveland. Three Porsches here fighting for what looks like P8. Lucas Keys on the back of these two. Strick pulls out. He's going to go side by side. And he's going to go for a move into turn one. Takes it easily. It looked like Lucas wanted to go with him, but thought better of it.
I think that was the right call, to be completely honest. Another thing about iRacing, right? I've been thinking about all these incidents we're seeing. It could be that these guys may be pushing just a tiny bit too hard. These iRacing GT3s, they don't really like being pushed too hard. They like being pushed around 95 to 98% mark. If you start pushing too hard, obviously you overheat the tires, and never ends up well when you try to full push in iRacing. Found that out the hard way, obviously. Another thing, another massive difference with iRacing, and it's similar to LMU in that point, is the braking. You do not want to go in the ABS the same way you would do in ACC. So, although these cars have ABS, you really don't want to be using it. It's only more of an emergency thing. If you can avoid going into the ABS, all good to you. Obviously saves tires as well. Locking up is never fun for the tires. The tires don't enjoy it. You get a flat spot, then you are going to be feeling it.
Flat spots much more prevalent in iRacing as they are compared to ACC. And like when you have one, you know you have one.
I don't think it's as prevalent as LMU though. LMU is pretty much, you get a flat spot, you will know you get a flat spot. Your steering wheel starts vibrating, and in fact it vibrates to the point where you can use it as one of those little massage things, you know, those things you can buy online to give yourself a back massage.
As we look at the timetable, Hislop now has a mini train of about 5 cars, with Holmes having been overtaken by Hislop.
Oh. Yeah, Holmes' last lap was a 45.3, so wondering what's happened to him there. He has lost a bit of pace, but someone is going to be benefiting massively from that. I want to say massively. He's still got Hislop behind him. It's Benjamin Hignett. So he's managed to hold the Audi off. In fact, that Audi looks like he's under pressure from John McAdam now. Now they've got other problems of their own. But now
Audi looks like it's got some damage on the front.
That is possible. It does seem to be suffering on a straight. His work does get side by side. Oh, it's very tight, but they're being respectful to each other, and that's. Oh no, that's what I call respect to your
Respectful as we get a little bit of a nudge from McAdam.
Now, you know what? A
Holmes
little bit
might
of
have
a
hit him
touch.
more
A little bit of a touch is okay, you know. A lot of people say rubbing is racing. Obviously, you don't want to take each other out, but if you touch a bit of panel here and there, you know, that's okay. That's okay. You know, iRacing does not have your fancy radars that you do in your LMUs, your ACCs, all of those fancies.
Well, as we've had a broadcast mini kerfuffle, but as we see McAdam now, looks like they're going too wide. I don't know. They were going to go too wide at the Ashes, but McAdam has had much more of a better run. He's got it before they even come out. Although, Holmes is not going to let him go.
They're going to go side by side in the bus stop. Oh! That is definitely one of the scary things to experience. Seem to struggle a bit here with the stream, but these guys do seem to go a bit in slow motion here. We're back. It's looking like, yeah, that Audi might have a bit of damage here. McAdam is pulling away, and now they're under pressure from Struick and Lucas Keys. Wondering what's happened here to Joshua Holmes.
Yeah, I'm thinking he might actually have front-end damage.
Yeah, I'm thinking the Aston does not have the front end damage as the Audi. They're very top speed limited now, as now they're really feeling the pressure from the two Porsches here. And Struick will get the inside here, and that's basically going to be move done. And wondering if Lucas Keys is going to serve himself as well, but he has not, just not quite the overlap he needs to get through that Audi. But yeah, Joshua Holmes really falling through the pack now, so it's looking like pretty substantial damage on that Audi. And that front end does not look too happy. It looks a bit squashed.
Indeed, as we see Lucas now, he goes for the inside and grabs that easy enough, easy to wait. As we now Hislop right on the bumper of Benjamin Hignett from the looks of it.
Yeah, 0.1 behind, 0.2. That's not looking good. They're going to get the overlap here. They're going for a move at the chicane Oh, they are not. Surely not. As they do try to go side by side, but Hislop does pull up a little bit, and yeah. It's full respect between these two at the moment. Hislop wants to get ahead, but Hignett is not making it easy. He did not make it easy for Joshua Holmes, and he's not going to make it easy for Jonathan Hislop. And we've seen Hignett defend in the past. We've seen him defend in the M2 race at Bathurst. That that's one thing you don't want, and that's having Benjamin Hignett in front of you. He's going to make it pure hell for you to try and get around, and it's going to be to the point where you get another car show up behind you, and then all of a sudden now you're under pressure from the guy behind, and your main priority is not getting around Hignett, but it's to defend from the guy behind, as we do get the Rocket himself, McAdam, really starting to get on the rear bumper of Jonathan Hislop. He's now 0.6 behind, and Jonathan Hislop is only 0.5 behind Hignett, so it's going to get a bit spicy here in the closing stages of this race.
I was about to say, we do have Patrick Johnson has come across for the final lap with a 2.5 second lead to Will Hammond and 7 seconds between Will Hammond and Leo Dreyer. So this is essentially, barring any other issues, this is essentially your fight for the rest of the race.
Yeah, unless Patrick Johnson does a massive mistake, this is going to be the fight of the race. And that fight is going to be for P4 overall. Well, not overall, for P4 for race 2. It's looking like it's going to be a hard three-way battle between Hignett, Hislop, and McAdam. Now let's see which one of them will come out on top for the battle of the ages here on iRacing, as we are on our final lap for Watkins Glen. Will Hignett manage to hold off the Porsche? Will the Porsche hold off the Mercedes, or will the Mercedes get past the both of them? We'll have to see as they now go towards the heel. As they go around the heel, Hislop just not getting the overlap he needs to get around Hignett. If Hignett just keeps it clean, stays cool, he doesn't crumble under pressure, he will manage to hold these two off. But it's looking like the Merc really putting the pressure on the Pepe Porsche as they go around the second last corner now, as Patrick Johnston takes the win for race 2. But we're back on our battle as they go around the final corner. It's looking like Hignett will manage to stay ahead, and fortunately for him, for this race, he stays in and will go home in P4, and Hislop does hold off McAdam. Fantastic effort from these three, and it was some pretty fantastic racing, if I say so myself.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, McAdam finishing P6 with the fastest lap of the race. Struick P7, Lucas Keys in P8, Joshua Holmes after his obviously a bit of an incident that he had, and he's dropping back, finished in P9. Christian Wells rounds out your top 10. You know what, Alex? That was the kind of racing that we were hoping for.
Yeah, well, I wasn't hoping for all the incidents. I had my hopes up for Loop D here. He was starting at the front of the grid, and he just forgot that the tire model of iRacing is not forgiving the same way as it is on other titles, and just his tires just weren't quite in the window, unfortunately for him, and he will have to settle for P14. It looks like it was the only incident he was in.
I believe that is the case. And McAdam's doing an extra lap because he can.
It's looking like the Forge finished the race. I don't think they pitted, although I think they were all lapped towards the end. So it's possible they pitted, but I don't think they did.
Yeah, it does appear like they all finished easy enough.
Oh, so they did pit.
Well, yeah,
So-
a lot of them would have hit early on for damage and such. That's right. But yeah, so Rondanella with his spin obviously, unfortunate at the very start, but did manage to get his way back to P14. Yeah, I guess. Welcome to iRacing commentary, Gobby. How was it?
I'm still new to it, and obviously it's still a bit confusing for me. There's a lot to learn here, especially if we have more iRacing in the future. There's a lot to learn, but for our fellow viewers, as you can see, iRacing is not the kindest to you. You gotta treat it kindly, and iRacing will treat you kindly. But anyways, you've been watching Octane Online Racing on iRacing, funnily enough. My name was Gobby, commentating with Benjamin Hignett, and on cameras was our one and only Glenn Germain, and you've been watching OR.
Good to know I am now Benjamin Hignett.
Did I call you?